Top of the morning, top of the morning. Good morning. You know what we're about to do. You know what we're about to do. You know what we're about to do. Good morning, good morning. If you're new here, you might want to hang out for a minute. If you're new here, you might want to hang out for a minute. Give it 1 minute. You'll never regret it. Give it 1 minute and you won't regret it. 1 minute, you won't regret it. Give it 1 minute. Give it 1 minute. Good morning, good morning. Yo, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Top of the morning, top of the morning. Good morning. Give it a second. Give it a second. We are going to give it 1 second. Oh, how did I do this last time? That don't make any sense. Good morning, good morning. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to send a picture to my all right, there it goes. I'm trying to send it. Why won't it take the picture? That's crazy. There it goes. All right. This is better for y'all. This is better for y'all. Good morning. How we doing? This is better for y'all. Hey, if you know me, you know what we do. I've been hosting for the last couple of months. I've been hosting basically CEO school. You got to understand that there's we got quite a few in here already this morning. Good morning. If you don't know me, Jesus Gray, retired U.S. Army combat vet. I've done a ton in business, but what I mainly do is I try to bring entrepreneurs along with me. Hold on 1 second. I'm not one of those. You can Google me. I'm not one of those that sells shit online. I'm an actual business owner. I have been for a long time, done well over 100 million. But the whole time I've been bringing people along because of how I grew up. All right. So what I've been doing the last couple of months is trying to heighten. Good morning, Juanito. I've been trying to rate. Hey, Juanito, were you there last night? Were you in class last night? I know you in the program, but I don't think I ever see you in class. Or are you in it? Are you in the program or not? You're not in there? Oh, you got to get in there. I'm going to tell you something today. Today I just did something. So I get a ton of DMs. Every time I do this online, when I leave here, I get probably 8 to 12, maybe sometimes 15 DMs. Oh, you work nights. Okay. But I'm going to tell you why this is important. I'm going to tell you why this is important. And I spend most of my time with people who can't afford to even do the program I had. It was only $45 a month, which at the time, I thought that was very reasonable relative to what I do, because I've literally helped everybody, right? Everybody levels up. But I spend most of my time with people that can't even join the program because it's about impacting people. I was telling everybody about 2 weeks ago, this lady, good morning. This lady, like maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and I ain't gonna never forget her. And I hope she come back in here. But she had been coming to a couple of lives, and y'all know I try to participate with people. And she hit me up with a long DM after the live, and I called her. Y'all know sometimes you reach out to me because I can't just let that fester on my heart, right? And so I called her. I talked to her for almost an hour. She's single mom, 3 kids. She didn't actually graduate high school, but she's already in her 40s. And she had been like a server her whole life. And she's really just trying to do something else. And I was like, look, my whole thing for her is that you can't impose your will on the market. If you haven't put skills in your tool bag or tools in the tool bag, you can't really impose your will on the market like that. We got to stabilize. You just need a different way to think about it. The reason why you hate being a server is because you don't have nothing to graduate to. You've been doing that 20 years. And you probably wasn't making as much money because you became depressed and you had despair in your own line of work. We got to put you on a 2 to 3 year plan to start a side hustle, grow the side hustle, and then graduate from that. So immediately she felt different about it. But the place that she could make the most money, she had just quit. I actually wrote her a letter. This lady ain't even in my program. I wrote her a letter and saying, I don't know her. I can't vouch for her character. She came to my program. I teach business in the mornings, and she poured her hat out to me. We came up with a 3-point plan. I sent it to her. She texted me a couple of days later saying she got the job. I text her a couple of days after that. Her phone's off. Right. And that's how hard it is out here for people because we're in a tough economy. So I talked to the people in my program last night. I say, look, it was $45. I'm going to drop it to $10. $10 seems to be the threshold that people can afford and it not be like cumbersome or burdensome from them. And I'm going to tell you why. We literally have millionaires in there. We got millionaires in there. We got engineers in there and we got startups. We got everybody in there, right? It's $10 a subscription. And so it's $10 a month. So now I think everybody relative to what we're offering, I'm telling you. So I don't know if you're in there, but scan the QR code and it'll take you right there. It's only $10 a month. You'll see. And like last night we had a earth shattering 2 hours. I teach every Tuesday. So we do like mindset stuff. We have a book of the month club. That book of this month opened up 20-year working professionals' minds. A book we got this month is called As a Man Thinketh. So we got a book of the month club. We drop analysis. We do politics and business and stuff in there. Not politics from the way we do it on the fucking internet. But the biggest thing is every Tuesday I teach. I come and teach a course. Right now, this month is What is Money? You guys have been hearing, if you've been in my program, that money isn't what we think it is, right? Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. We do, I drop the link. It's a private Telegram. And I'll drop the link to the Zoom in there. And so I personally teach. And nobody, what we did was last night we had this podcast that I had sent to them early in the week. And I said, hey, watch this podcast. And I want to know what your takeaways are. When we got into the podcast, we watched it together and we watched portions of it together inside the Zoom. And I broke down the top 8 takeaways. It was pretty powerful. Last night was pretty powerful. Because like we said, we got a couple people that are doing a couple $1 million in revenues. And we got people that haven't even started yet. All in the same group, right? And we're all there to learn. And so I'm right now explaining to everybody what money is because I'm telling you, I didn't understand what money is. I'm gonna tell you when I understood what money was. Money, I tell people I didn't understand what money was until I was multiple 7 figures in business. And it dawned on me, oh shit, this is what money is. And it's also always because I always tell people business drives politics, drives business, but money it was created to have some enemies. The enemies are how for us. The enemies aren't for the system. When they created this thing, they created money to say, how can we best take advantage of it, right? Not how can we actually make people rich. The one thing that I think in the inception of the modern money, because money, I gave them like 500-600 year history on it, but money actually thousands of years, because we talk about Roman Empire. But money in its current configuration was made as an extension of the system, and it was made to continue to dissipate back into the system. And then they penalize you whenever you take it out of the system. All right. And so this sounds weird. I know it sounds weird until you come in there and I understand. I break down to you why money needs to be left in the system. And I'll tell you some real basic things that most people never thought about. Every time you take money out of the system, they hit you on the hand. You go to the ATM, you get hit. 401k is a big one. That's a 30-year deal they did with you. They did a 30-year deal with you, and you chose to take it out. And when you take it out, boom, 35% or 30%, whatever your so every time you take money out of the system, it's a tax. So I always say inflation, taxes, fees, and burn. it has 4 natural enemies, and all those enemies, they fight for the system. They're enemies of yours. They're not enemies of the system. They're actually on the side of the system. Does that make sense? And so for you, the only way for you to grow money is to understand it. They got 4 watchdogs, beat their 4 watchdogs, leave it in the system, grow it in the system, and have a one-time liquidation event. All right. None of that sounds weird until you understand. And I show it to you in business like, no. When I was poor, this is how we thought about money. And then when I got actually getting some money, I was like, oh shit, this is how rich people see money. And there's just a bunch of things that they know that we just don't know. They figured it out, right? And I'm gonna tell you this. They are under, in everything you do, you try to have an advantage. This is one thing, this is a poverty mindset thing that I used to say, and a lot of people say, if you haven't really made any money. Like rich people, like they feel like they're stealing something. And if somebody in their family bust their ass in their lifetime, because usually most fortunes are lost in the 3rd generation. So the people that are rich now, 100 years ago, they were poor. Does that make sense? And so somebody did something in their family, and and there are people that used to be rich that are poor now. That makes sense. And so because the way you start raising kids, you start bubble wrapping them. Most families, you rotate wealth based on knowledge and hunger. All right, I'm trying to tell you. Very few families maintain wealth for like 200, 300, 400 years. The Rockefellers, shit like that. Very few. All right. The DuPonts, right? But so just having an understanding of what money is and how to grow money, how to grow revenues is elite relative to how they teach us about money. So the first thing they did was like, we're just not going to talk about money. You ever hear how like poor people, when I grew up, it's like some things you're not supposed to talk about. Politics and religion dominate your whole life. And then the conversation around money. It's not that we hated it. It's that we had a toxic relationship with it because we never had enough. And in particular, I see my mom every end of the month. She never had enough money. And we had like this continuous toxic relationship with money. So if you don't understand something and you have a bad relationship, you will look at somebody who has a good relationship in the thing that you have a bad relationship and think you'll feel some kind of way about them. Instead of trying to understand who they are and what they do, you will feel some kind of way about them. Does that make sense? All right. And that's kind of what we do. That's kind of what we do until you understand money. And then once you get on the other side, most people, even people in business, I got people that doing multi-million dollars in revenues that they're learning about money. Even I'm telling you, I was multiple 7 figures in before I learned what money was. And then it dawned on me what money was. I was like, oh shit, I gotta tell people. So I've been doing this for well over a decade. I did my first thing in the barbershop like 10 years ago. And I gave a presentation, not like I was just briefing them on like I started it by saying I take black ink, I put it on white paper, I move it around, and I suck money out of it. And I remember a lot of kids like looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I was trying to break down what money was. I got a kid that follows me on Instagram right now. Last year, he reached out to me. He was like, man, I'm in the Army. I so-and-so, I do this. I got this on the side. And I was in the barbershop. I was 15 years old when you were in the barbershop 10 years ago. He was telling me, because I do this everywhere, but I remember that specific one. And then he was like, I was a 15-year-old kid in the barbershop then. And he had been following me this whole time. And I didn't know. And I didn't know him until like last year. He reached out to me and sent me this long thing. So anyway, so you never know who you're going to impact, right? All right. So the reason why we're doing what is money first, and we're talking about like last night was really impactful because we talked about like instrumentation, like how do you structure certain contracts? I'm telling you what happens when you grow up poor or you just haven't been enlightened yet. You have a limited view of almost everything, and you have a really small tool bag. You may only have 1 or 2 tools. So with the limited view and the very little reach, meaning I only got a small tool bag, if it doesn't work, the first thing people say is that must be a scam. It can't be possible that someone on this entire earth knows something more than me. What's up, boo-boo? It can't be. This is kind of how what money does to you, because really it affects the ego, the confidence. So if people are saying it can't be the case that someone knows more than me. That just can't be the case. What's up? Good morning, y'all. They are cheating or they're doing something. And what happens is because typically poverty, I did that on the enlightenment chart a couple weeks ago. It like breeds resentment and contempt, and it starts fracturing. And you're almost like, hey, were you in class last night, boo? I don't know. I don't remember seeing you in class. But anyway, it almost like I remember talking like eating breakfast at the free breakfast in the morning. And I can remember like the rich kids, or what we thought were rich, they just had like stable jobs. looking at us. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember the kids like looking at us, and that makes you feel some kind of way. You take that and you internalize it. So when in your early child, oh, okay, it was good last night, wasn't it? Wasn't it good last night? You missed last night? Okay, you had to work. Okay. I was telling them about last night's thing. Yeah, yeah. And what it is that you feel like somebody cheated. You feel like even in adulthood, I see sometimes people. I'm in the room with other like multimillionaires and people that got businesses, and we're all soaking each other's knowledge up. We don't have an ego about knowledge. I learn from everybody. But if I'm trying to help somebody who hasn't done it yet, they almost got an attitude like against me, like they feel some kind of way, right? And what you're doing is you're cutting your own blessings off. So I try to come to you and tell my story first. Like I grew up poor too. I grew up poor. There was a few decisions I made to put me on the right path. Other than that, ain't no telling what I would have did with life, because I was actually on a way worse trajectory than most people. All right. So we're discussing what money is right now so that we can, and last night was really good because we talked about the different ways to function. Yeah. That's right. This is a girl right here. This is one of my girls. She's in my program. She has a large farm. She has a pawn shop. She sells guns in. She's got some stuff she's working on right now. I'm working on her privately as well. And you're going to see her pretty soon. But she's a business owner. I got a guy with a big electric company. I got executives. I got like last night we met a girl in there. I didn't know she was in there because she's an engineer. She graduated from Duke. She's in there, right? There's all kind of people in, and we got some startups. We got some people. We got two dudes. One of them face tat dudes. He in here right now. Face tat. Where you at, boy? He got a bunch of face tats, and he works in the blue collar economy. One dude got out. He was in prison for a decade. He should be in here in the morning. This morning too. But he lives in Cali. But there's literally every fucking body in there, and in there we're just there to learn. And nobody. Yeah, I got another kid. I'm gonna start calling you professor. So anyway, I got and I call him kids. He's 30 something, but I'm 50. So everybody, if you ain't 48, you one of my kids. No, it's not. It's not required. I will tell you this. That's socially improper. I have seen my friends who are in business have to put that in the email now because people don't realize how actually rude that is. But if you're like a single mom and you're cooking dinner and you know what I'm saying? I can understand that. But to come in somebody's live, regardless if you pay for it or not, and not have your camera on, you don't even know you're not doing it on purpose. That's actually rude. It's actually considered to be rude. I've seen my friends, other business owners, for the first time ever. I've never seen this. This year, I started seeing in the notes cameras on. Like, you're not coming in here if your camera's not on, because you don't understand the impact or the message it's sending to the host or the people in there. I'm saying because I got so many different kind of people, I don't know what you got going on. You might have I got moms in there. They got families and all that, and you got a lot of stuff going on. You really can't be on camera, but I don't want you to miss it. So I don't, and you asked me that for a reason. You probably have started to see that too, which is why you asked me that. And I'm starting to see that in the notes. And I'm like, yeah, you're a single mom. So if you got something going on, that's 100% okay. But if somebody and I ain't trying to make it about me, but if I'm coming in here pouring my heart out to you and you sitting there behind it, and then you got nerve to ask me questions and I can't even see you, that's extremely rude in the public square. So maybe you don't know that. Again, this is part of that whole maturation. You are not going to go to no business meeting. You're not going into any business Zoom and with your camera off. It will release you from the Zoom. I can promise you that. And this is for the first time this last 6 months or so, I started seeing that in the actual instructions. And I'm like, yeah, it's starting to, so anyway, just Zoom etiquette. It's just business etiquette that it's considered to be rude if you're coming in there. No worries. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. Some of y'all got stuff and you're in different time zones. For this, I'm okay because I've gotten to know most of y'all. I'm just letting you know one more thing, and you could rub someone the wrong way if you do that in a meeting that you actually want to be in, but maybe you're literally trying to do two things at once. Yeah, you don't do a lot of Zooms. See, you don't know that. And I'm just trying to tell you what's socially acceptable now. And I've seen my friends, because I jump on a lot of Zooms because there's a lot of shit going on, and I'm starting to see them for the first time put that in the notes, and they're talking to like our tribe. Our tribe should know that, and then we don't. All kind of people can get money. Like, people get money. That's what I'm saying. Like, people, like, you feel like I got a guy right now who's talking to me on one other thing. He got face tats and dreads and all that shit. I'm like, hey, look. Here's the best thing about it. You don't have to worry about the system. They hate people like you. Just start a business. We're just gonna go crush a business, and then you can make a lot of money. And then now you're the poster child for what face tats and dreads are. Does that make sense? Because one of the things we talk about is if you're in the corporate world, you have a duty to clean up because your job is to penetrate the highest levels. You're walking around with dreads and tats to force your will on people, and you're being cut out. I can promise you're being cut out. Whereas I teach you how to go black ops. No, why don't we just play the game? We're going to cut our dreads. Fuck them dreads. I used to have dreads. I'm from Florida. Every fucking body in Florida had dreads. And I had fronts. Like, goddamn, I'm from Florida. But our job is to penetrate behind enemy lines. Make no fucking mistake. I'm teaching you how to be an operator. We will do what we have to do until we can do what we want to do. Your job is to cut your fucking hair, pull your pants up, tighten up, work out a little bit, be pleasant to be around, and penetrate the highest levels of that shit and weaponize it and monetize that shit. Point blank, period. Make no motherfucking mistake about it. That's exactly what I'm training you to do, right? Or you can impose your will on the market, be an a-hole, be the first one to get fired every time they're downsizing because you got a shitty attitude and you're not really... Yeah, there you go, right? And so I'm teaching people literally how to go behind enemy lines. And I'm not saying your job is the enemy, but make no mistake, they're exhausting all of your natural resources. This is an unfair, trust me. There's an equation that you know how they could tell who to fire and when to fire? They have like a metric. Every company has their own metric to determine production value. So like, I'm going to tell you something right now. You may not know. You're getting paid $65,000. That's not how much they're paying you. First and foremost, the first thing they do is they have payroll tax. So they're paying Sam to pay you. I don't know if you understand how much that is. It's kind of a lot. Then you have a chair with a desk and 130 square foot. And 130 square foot of space and AC and internet. And so what they do is everyone has a different equation. That wouldn't be the exact same one, but because everybody's different. But everybody has an equation as to how much this person actually costs the company. When you start talking about benefits, retirement, like it swells and so everyone has their own equation. However, so let's say you're getting paid 65, but you cost the company 90. All right, so you cost the company. This is a $90,000 position, at which point I paid the person 65, but I have $30,000 in additional overhead. But I got dreads now. They cut them later. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But this position, based on that person's output, is bringing me 270. I'm telling you, right? So so now they're monitoring and they're measuring output. And only when it's time to do cutbacks will you see certain kind of people get perked. Oh yeah. So there's there's more to it than that because they have like so if you're like on the assembly line, they have to measure each position. But I understand what you're saying. But like there's like a long equation this is why big companies bring in actuaries. I'm not sure if you know that. Actuaries are among the top 1% of any college, any of the major schools. Actuaries get headhunted first. They're in trucking, logistics. They hire them. All the big like tech firms and financial firms, they go get these kids. These are the smartest kids among the smartest kids. So like when you go to like a major D1, it was hard. My daughter is in one right now. It was even hard to get in there. But then even in that group, and she's in what they call the Harvard of the South, even in that group, there are kids that stick out, even in that group. So that's an indicator for the Fortune 500 companies to go get these kids. Well, the actuaries, these are kids that take things in the world and turn it into an equation. Yes, way beyond me and your shit. Now, you know what those kids can't do? Like hold a conversation. I'm not saying they can't, but those are some awkward kids. But that's not what the job needs of them. They'll go get people that are really good with soft power in order to sell shit. Does that make sense? They have the personality type for either. So those kids, they give them like a project and tell them to disappear for 90 days. Yes, this is every organization has them. And they come back with this equation to tell you, and they have every position in the company. And this is how you measure profit and loss relative to labor. Well, so this is how like one person in this division, 3 people over there, and 2 people over here got cut. When they could have like cut your division, but instead of doing that, you wonder how certain people got cut. Well, those people actually, even within the group, you typically know who the slackers are, or at least they're just doing barely enough. Well, that shows up in their personal equation, and that's how they choose who to fire. All right, so they got that typically from an actuary. All right, so what we're saying is What we're saying is, in particular, if you're in corporate, you're doing great because you can penetrate corporate. Corporate needs small businesses. What we're saying is, why don't we not be that person? Why don't we, in order to gain access, because you're never going to get access. They might not fire you, but you're not going to get access. You're not in the big boy meetings. You're getting treated like shit. They're just extracting all the value out of you, and it's not even equal compensation. Why don't we clean up a little bit, have a good attitude? Well, this is my small account. It's my small account because my big account got banned. And then sometimes people show up. Sometimes be like 100 people in here. Y'all like and share, man. Do me a favor. Only thing I ask is you like and share so we can build this account back up. And I'm meeting a lot of cool people. The program that I have is for people that I meet here on TikTok. All right. So there's an equation. We're saying outperform that contract. There's 3 contracts that tell everybody to outperform. Societal, professional, and familial. This is your professional contract. Outperform that contract, right? And now what happens is I got a kid going through that right now. He's 35, 36, 34. And he's the owner operator. He had problems with his truck. He had his own authority. He started driving for a major company. He met me a few months back. He wanted to quit and just blow his company up. I was like, no, let's stay there. Let's penetrate the hierarchy. Let's get into the positions where they award contracts and then get your company a contract. I show you how to make your company invisible. I'll show you how to make your company. Like I got companies you couldn't trace to me. You couldn't trace to me. You'd have a court order. I got 2 things that a court order couldn't trace to me. I've been telling y'all that, and none of y'all understand. And I think last night with what we talked about, you haven't even got the lesson yet. Last night with what I showed y'all, probably for the first time, was like, oh shit, the way they were talking about how they structured the deal. We just have a different language, man. We have a different culture. So when we run into a problem, the reason why he had to structure that deal that way is because they ran into a finance problem. When you have limited view and a very few tools, because that's what society wants you to have that. They don't want to create problem solvers. You understand that? So when that's who you are, you run out of options and you go bye-bye, and it expands capacity. Part of that, this is what they're counting on. Listen to me. Amongst your peer group, you don't have that. Amongst the peer group, when I was broke, I was hanging out with broke motherfuckers. I remember I tell everybody. I remember this was 1998. I'm at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. We going to the club. We all Tommy Hilfiger down. I'm driving that night. I don't fucking know why. I never drive. I'm driving that night. I pull over. I say, hey, man, let me get some on the petrol. And all 3 of my homeboys was broke. I was like, well, how the fuck y'all plan on getting in the club? Like, we was literally going to the parking lot pimp, and we all had on $200 outfits. See, that's your fucking peer group. You're not hanging out with people that's getting money, because people that's getting money talk about money all the time unless they get money in the streets. And you shouldn't be hanging out with them anyway. But like, you ain't hanging out with people that's getting money because that's all they want to talk about. And it's going to make you feel some kind of way. This is what I'm saying. We're going to change the conversation, and we're going to change the diagram of who we actually are. So amongst that peer group, you feel some kind of way in that peer group. What's up, Paul? You don't stick out. You don't like, and it's designed to kind of keep, and so you don't have like nobody in that peer group has really good foresight. They're not really good leaders, or you might be in a different peer group that's not entrepreneurs, but maybe you're like in that junior executive. That's your peer group, right? All right. Well, in this peer, and so what happens? I'm telling you, we talk about this all the time. One of the best weapons to protect wealth is the ideology of poor people that no one tries to break through. I had this. When you try something and it doesn't work, and you run back and call it a scam, it scares everybody else from trying it. Listen to me. You probably never heard this before. When you try something with limited view and a few tools, the only reason you can receive that from me, because that's how I grew up. All right. And then I'm a trusted source. So I'm telling them, like, bro, you don't have near the vision you need to have, and you don't have any tools in your tool bag. And you tried something with no vision and no tool bag, so you couldn't even make a pivot. You ran in the hole like a fullback, and I need you to be a running back. I need you to put the right foot in the ground and do a jump cut and get outside that tackle and haul ass, right? You don't have that. You can't do that. So you put your head down and you got a half a yard. Or you put your head down and you ran right into the fucking center. Does that make sense? You don't have any tools. You don't have any skills. And it didn't work. And you ran back to the huddle and you said, hey, that's a scam. That further scares the tribe, that demographic, into not trying new things. This is what I'm saying. I've been in both. The fucking creativity comes from this group. I have so many tools in my tool bag because we don't have money, so we have to use creativity to fix shit. It's why for hundreds of years, when we were all poor, black, white, I don't give a fuck who you are. They're staring at you. Listen, look at all the fucking patents. For hundreds of years, they're staring at you fix shit, and then they draw that shit up and they go make a patent because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You actually couldn't make a patent because you didn't know how to read and write. This is everybody, black, white, everybody. Go look at all the patents. Thomas Edison. We were just talking about this the other night. He didn't fucking make the light bulb. He literally, somebody in one of his, in fact, this dude was African American. He didn't really make that shit, and he was the first one he filed the patent for the filament. Right? Does that make sense? So anyway, this is how we've been getting done forever. And part of what I'm trying to do is like expand the view, shake you up a little bit, expand the view, change your algorithm, give you more tools. And then that fucking business that you tried 2 years ago wasn't nearly as hard. Yeah, it was you. Right? So I do this in a rough way a little bit. What's up, Farf? I do this in a rough way a little bit to make sure that you're not going to come in here yelling everything's a scam. Watch this. One of the guys in there, this is almost everybody. One of the guys in there who's done hundreds of millions of dollars, he had 11 businesses in 2016. This happens to everybody. I did the shit. All y'all do the shit. You coming to me with, I got 3 businesses, and you don't have a pro forma. You don't have like a P&L. You don't like you can't. You're not cash flowing in here. I think every time you launch a new business, it sounds cool, and you tell people, and they like, oh wow, and then you get your dopamine, and then you're fucking done. That cycle is toxic because you ain't doing nothing. You're starting new ventures, so you can tell people you started a new venture, and you're getting your dopamine. You ain't got no money, but you're getting your dopamine, so then it satisfies your urge. Does that make sense? This is why when y'all come to me and tell me about your new shit, I just look at you like, okay, good for you, right? And you ain't getting nothing out of me. I'm not. Now, once you said I did this and this happened, I had to do this, then I make sure I applaud that. That effort is what I applaud. Yeah, that effort is what I applaud. You try something and you failed. And you pivoted and tried it again. Everybody, were you in class last night? I don't think you was in class last night. Because if you were there, we went over this. Yeah. Were you in class last night? Let me know if you were in there. I don't recall. You might have been in there, but I didn't see you. It's starting to grow. So anyway, all right. This guy owns a mechanic shop. All right. So he's in my class too. I was. Okay. All right. This is probably why we were addressing earlier not being on camera. It's actually professionally and socially rude, but some of y'all, like he just said, his kids were out of control, so he couldn't even. So that's your household. You got to manage it how you want to. But this in black households, we whipped our kids' ass and then they go be quiet. The problem is we stop. The only problem in our culture is we stop whooping their ass. If we would have kept, I can't say that, they're gonna ban me and shit. All right. So anyway, last night was great. If you didn't stay the whole time, you missed some nukes because as it went on, we got deeper and deeper, and then our conversation got deep. They got DCF. yeah. Them y'all kids. Our kids don't call DCF. They know them people gonna leave. And when they leave, when you be biting your lip and shit, wait till these people leave. Yeah, black kids, they doing that shit. Let me stop. The problem is though, Paul, we stop whooping their ass. And that's why our kids are fucking out of control. They ain't no threat. We ain't no threat to the kids. Right? All right, let me stop. Because TikTok is a big ass fucking. TikTok has now become an HR lady. I banned my big account for not doing nothing. TikTok is an HR lady. So that's why I gotta keep her kind of separate from my main account. All right, if you haven't seen my Rumble, all right, for those of you new here, I've had a program it's called CEO School. This is another part of the ego that you have to temper. I'm here to help, but I'm also going to call you out. It's big, baby. What? It's a big baby. Yeah. All right. This is part of the thing that it's a part of the ego, and that I call you out as a trusted source. I build trust first, and I'm going to then call out all your BS. Yeah. 30 minutes. Yeah. All right. It sounds like you got some experience in that, Paul. All right. This is one of them. Oh yeah. Extension cords, all that shit. I grew up in the South. We ass whooping champs down here, boy. You know what? I only had to pop my son like twice though. Right. But I grew up. It was a sport. Whooping ass is a sport in the hood. It's like they give out medals and shit for how creative and how long you can sustain an ass whooping. And I'm light skinned, so sometimes I have like shit on my back, and people be like, "Oh shit." Yeah. No. What you mean nervous? What you talking about? All right. Where am I at? All right. So now I'm telling you, this is CEO School. Here's another thing that's holding you back. And then we're not even, I have a hood mother and 2 older brothers. Yeah, a hood mother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of, when you look at poor white people and poor black people, we live the exact same. We got this thing, but when I look at now that I kind of escaped that shit, but I'm still dealing with whatever, I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, y'all in the same fucking boat. Fuck out of here. Ain't not one of y'all better than the other. That's why I do this, and I invite everybody there. All right, this is one thing that's getting in your way. When I was in CEO school, that's what this is. You're 40, 50, 60 lessons away from being a CEO. Let me tell y'all what a CEO is in the real world, because right now everybody's a CEO. And when you're younger in particular, and you're full of like machismo and cockiness, and there's nothing, I can ask you 2 questions, I can tell you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You catch an attitude with this, and I push you away fast. I don't care. This ain't gonna do with me. Whatever shit you got going on, good luck. You're gonna crash and burn. When I say that to you, and I'm telling you the fucking truth, which is actual grown-ups, yeah. Yeah. When I tell you, hey bro, you're not where you need to be at, or hey sis, you need to come holler at me. I'm going to tell you what an actual CEO is, and I'm going to tell you what we do nowadays. First, I'm going to preface it by saying I'm 53 years old. I had one mentor, or a person who he didn't mention me that long. I've had like 3 or 4 conversations with him, but he was a chiropractor that I met when I was like 16. He's the only person, I'm from the hood, so like he's the only person that I knew that kind of looked like me and was making really good money, like doing some regular shit. And I thought he was like the best entrepreneur ever, right? At 16, because I'm from the hood. I'm in the hood doing hood shit, right? Crack, all that shit was there. All the shit we doing, all the shit we started doing in fucking 80s is what I was doing, right? Not fucking, But so I saw this dude, and I never forgot him, and I wanted to talk to him 3 times. My mom had got some kind of accident, and then her insurance paid for her to go to chiropractor. He happened to be a brother, and he met me, and he talked to me like 3 times. He actually came to my house and gave me one time, and I thought I was going to be a chiropractor at some point. So anyway, this is what kind of one of the things, I got a long story, but this is one of the things where I was like, I think I want to be an entrepreneur. I think I want to like try to start a business. Well, in the late 80s or early 90s, most of y'all ain't that old, you were considered a loser. If you said you were an entrepreneur, go look at the verbiage, go Google what were entrepreneurs in the 1990s, and they would talk about people who aren't serious about life and don't want to have a job. This country, although the greatest country in the history of the world relative to the free market, even this country were shitting on people saying they want to be an entrepreneur in the 90s. I'm going to skip all the way to now. If you guys were to have a phone and you're watching this on your tablet, you could go onto your Secretary of State website, log in, do a name entity search, find a name, ABC, ABC, whatever, rooftops, ABC roofing. That name's available. You launch it. You file the paperwork, LLC, and they ask you what's your title. You put CEO in there. You paid $125. They email you a printout, and you went from listening to me on Zoom to being a fucking CEO. You see how crazy that is? And now me and you are the same. And I'm going to tell you how it hurts you. So I came up with this specifically to show you all of the stuff you're missing. People who are doing millions of dollars in revenues are in here because they understand I did it the hard way. And I did it the hard way. So I have had to learn this over 2 decades. Watch this. You have something, God forbid, that you have an ailment and you need to go see a doctor, right? You need to go see a doctor. Well, you came in and you saw my thing on the wall. You saw this thing on the wall and it says this guy is Dr. Jesus, Dr. Zeus, right? And you start talking to me and you're talking to me and you're 57. So you're used to going to the doctor. You got some specific ailments and you know what questions, when you ask a doctor questions, how they're supposed to sound. Well, when I'm answering you, I'm sounding like some shit that you never heard before. And then you're looking at the wall and you're asking me like, are you a doctor? I'm like, yeah, see, they had this thing where I filed online. I paid $125 and they asked me what my title was. And I said, I'm a doctor. And so then I came in here and now I'm here to serve as your doctor. This is how dangerous it is. I'm going to tell you why it's actually more dangerous than that scenario. I don't know if I was in the medical field. I used to be part owner of a pharmacy. In the medical field, doctors have supervisors. Doctors can't prescribe. They only have bandwidth. And most doctor has like a presiding, like a doctor who's in charge of all the doctors on that shift. I don't know if y'all know that. So when they have something outside of the normal bandwidth, they actually have to go seek permission to do this treatment plan. You don't. You became a doctor and you're out here doing and saying shit, right? And what's really dangerous, which is why I'm doing it this way, is all these CEOs that are now teaching y'all business. I'm on the phone last night. I'm on the phone yesterday with a kid that got 1 million followers. He's 29. He don't know who the fuck he on the phone with. He saw my profile and he started calling me. Not the other kid y'all met, not that kid. This kid's 29. He's done a lot of money. He's done a lot of business in teaching business. And he is relatively kind of cocky because I'm telling him, hey, fucker, I've done all over $100 million in business. I just started doing this. I'm talking about actual business. Whereas he has $25,000 coaching clients who never had a business. And he sells them coaching things on how to coach people in business. Do you see how fucking dangerous it is? This is who y'all been listening to. Whereas I'm talking to him about actual business, and I'm going to tell you, I was 3 or 4 questions. There were 2 things he couldn't grasp. And he's done tens of millions of dollars in online business coaching, teaching business. It's fucking dangerous for y'all to be listening to anybody, right? And he's almost being combative with me talking about, I told him like lead gen. When he hears lead generation, I'm teaching my people organic lead gen. I got current NFL clients. I got like doctors, and I got a $5,000. My big one is like $5,000, and then I have like a year-long one that's $5,000 a month for people that's doing like 8, 10, 12, 15 million. And then I have 2 current, one really famous you're going to see really soon, a very famous former NFL guy. He reached out to me, saw my content, reached out to me. We've been talking. I'm helping him get his stuff because he's got a good platform, but relative to who he is, and I'm trying to shape him on how to have a bigger platform and then dealing with like the business stuff. We're not just doing content. I've rolled this over into your real estate, into your cars, into your, And then I have another one. He brought me another one. I got a former NBA guy. We playing golf today. And then I'm starting to get like entertainers. All of them are in my shit now. They're all hearing my content. Again, I'm the dude that's doing geopolitics with a do-rag on. I'm trying to show y'all something. If you become an expert, all that shit nobody cares about that shit. I'm literally doing geopolitics and business with a do-rag on. And I have a lot of white clients that don't fucking care about that shit. I got country conservative people that in a normal existence, if you were just doing the bullshit, you wouldn't even reach their algorithm. I'm trying to show y'all, if you become an expert, it cuts through all the bullshit. I'm literally doing that on purpose to show y'all. And no one, I had somebody in there last night who was, and he was saying, I saw your shit 5 times before I realized you had on the do-rag. He's like, I had to keep listening to it because I was trying to break down the actual, the expertise that you were dropping. And then he was like, I realized like the 4th or 5th time, oh shit, he's got on a do-rag. That makes sense? All right. So I'm trying to show you what right looks like. All right. So I'm going to show you. So now it's very dangerous because this kid is doing 10 times more revenues in me actually teaching people how to do my free shit. The free shit I do online is better than anything you're going to see. This is one of the most famous kids. Y'all know who he is. He saw my content and he's been DMing the fuck out of me. And I can show him right now. And then we got on the phone last night. He brought 2 people on the phone. So we got 4 people on the phone, 2 of his people, trying to convince me to do something with them. And where none of them have run own a business. And one kid made $10 million selling business on fucking line. But you know what they're teaching y'all? They're teaching y'all how to do business coaching. This is crazy to me. All right. This is why you're going to crash and burn. All right. So I'm going to tell you what an actual CEO is. And then this is why I'm doing this. An actual CEO, it typically takes you 12, 15, 17 years. Yes, it takes you a while. And I'm going to tell you it's called a career map or career path. I'm going to tell you what it looked like. You started out as an intern. You worked in the logistics. You worked in procurement. You worked in sales. You got in operations. You worked on the litigation side. You did 2 of the 4 C-suites. You guys understand that? COO is the chief operating officer. CFO is the chief financial officer. CIO is the chief information officer. And you did 2 of the 3, or sometimes people have 4. And then the board voted on you to become the CEO. That motherfucker is a problem solver. Female, male, I don't give a fuck. They're looking at your career map and how much shit that you've been exposed to, how many problems you've solved on the way up to becoming a CEO. And then there's you, or not y'all, but anybody. I filed a $125 thing. I took this business coaching class. What do you mean? I'm a fucking CEO, and you can't. And you're going into it with the confidence and the machismo. When you start raising your temperature and all that, I can tell you don't know what you're doing. One of the reasons why we played that podcast last night is because look at these two uber accomplished, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're very jovial about their experience. Right? There's no ego. They're not yelling at each other. They're not doing all this crazy shit, which is a sign that something's missing. Right? I told you something, even in a meeting, I pushed back, which is your job, to push back against facts with facts. We're trying to get to the truth, and you took offense to it. Some people are taking offense to me challenging their politics. I'm like, your politics is why you're broke. This is why you're broke, because I'm talking specifically to African Americans. You've been listening to certain kind of people forever, and I just told y'all, under Obama, we created 1,000 millionaires a day. That's when it happened for me. I flipped hundreds of homes, and most African American people in this country, I'm telling y'all right now, and y'all know, you haven't even heard that. You haven't even heard that. And so I'm telling you why you're mad at me, the person that did it, and you're not mad at all these fucking people that you've been voting on based on race. You're not in the game. They're not in the game. They can't tell you about the game because they're not in the game. They got Black history degrees and they focus on race every day when they wake up. So the only thing they walk outside and see is race. They're walking around looking for racial incidents. You are now focusing on business. And so every time you walk outside, you see opportunity. Does that make sense? You become what you focus on. You become what you focus on. And so this has been, honestly, in my world, we know what QE is. And me coming back and trying to find first generation entrepreneurs and telling y'all, yeah, we created 1,000 millionaires a day under Obama for 4 years and no one fucking knowing. And then I've been doing this for a couple months now. No one's challenged me on that because you all have looked it up now. And you're like, how the fuck did I not know? How did I not know that as an adult? So it should rock your confidence relative to what you know. You should be like, hold up, man. Hold up. I'm missing something. I might be good at what I want to be good at, but this brother right. He's fucking right. And now this is one of my initiatives is to make you independent. I'm not trying to tell you to be a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm saying you need to, if you want to make that party better, you need to withdraw from them because the party will become, it's supposed to be a reflection of the people. They're not your leaders. Then a person who actually started one fucking actual business will run for office on the left because you know what they currently do on the right because this is what we talk about on the right. I'm an independent, but a lot of my politics are conservative because it's what the fuck we talk about. It's what we talk about. And it's what they talk about. And we're talking about center right, not fucking the far right. They're the worst. They're the same as the fucking Democrats. Right. And I got some piece of content I'm releasing today where I'm tracing. They hacked your live again. What do you mean? What do you mean they hacked it? What do you mean? Who hacked it? Am I frozen? Tell me if y'all can see me. Somebody tell me if I can see me. Oh, glitching? Okay, maybe. Boots on the ground, no and stuff. Yeah, exactly. All right. So part of my I can't talk, and this is why for the group too. You were like, okay, this is for the group too. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you came in here with all you're coming in here with all of that. So you're not focused on the right thing. You know you're supposed to be here, but you still have those habits. You're looking for race stuff. You're a victim. You have a victim mentality. So you're literally looking to be victimized. And then there's going to be one thing you don't hear, and you're going to run out and tell everybody it's a scam. I'm challenging you at the front door so you don't ruin this experience for everybody else. Everybody's learning in here, and we're going to challenge your bullshit at the door. Right? All right. And so what we're saying is this is the key to entry, that you release all of that toxic shit that you went through and that you think is a part of your identity and strip yourself, relieve yourself of that, and then come in here and let's help you. We're going to help you. And when you come in there, they're going to be Black people, white people, people that were formerly or even MAGA, fucking Democrat, all that shit. Good morning. All right. But when we come in here, we're entrepreneurs. Now, last but not least, if you are far left and far right now, I'm actually going to tell you how it hurts you, and I'm going to crush you every time. Look at this shooting that just happened with ICE. Look at this shooting. I gave this scenario to my people last night. We weren't 7 seconds outside of the shooting, and you guys have only seen, he had only at the point seen one angle. I was spent almost a decade deploying all over the world. We have investigations every day. At a minimum, you want to see 2 to 3 minutes before and 2 to 3 minutes after. You actually reserve judgment, regardless of how it looks. to 2 to 3 minutes before and 2 to 3 minutes after. And that's the initial assessment. And then you start building a case. You don't have any, you see it as bad as it looks. You're supposed to watch the video. Any adult leader would know that. I waited because I freaking hated that shooting, but I'm an adult, so I knew better. I waited and I saw the video, and she actually did hit the guy on the right. And then I got the evidence. She was training to be an agitator, all this and all this. And I'm going to tell you my assessment on that shooting. But I'm going to tell you my assessment. I still hate the shooting. I hated the shooting because they have an ability to walk you into something. Don't let nobody trick you out of your heartbeat. You don't know what I'm actually trying to say. Do not let these people can walk you into something. I teach this in operations for high-level individuals. I teach this in terms of SDRs. So when you're getting followed, I can teach you how to have on the way to your house. You should have pre-planned routes where you've already pre-planned stuff and finding one-way roads. And I can teach you how to trap somebody into something to where you are now defending in sector. They're impeding you, and you can defend yourself by taking them out. All right. They know that too. Cops know that. ICE know that. Do not let anybody trick you out of your heartbeat. When she pulled her wheel to the right, she pulled him into view. This particular cop had just been drugged 6 months ago. And this is why I'm like, he's not going to get charged. Nothing's going to happen to him. And I fucking hate that shooting. So I'm trying to still deploy some humanity about this lady has 3 kids and her kids aren't here anymore. I don't fucking care about left and right. And then what everybody did was if you're left, you ran to the far left and started burning shit down. That's what y'all do. And if you're right, you saw one angle. They literally announced her as LGBT on Fox News. Well, who the fuck? Why does that matter? Why are you painting her LGBT? Because a lady just got shot in the face. You see what I'm saying? You see what's happening to the country? You see what's happening to the country? And if you're an adult and you did that first before understanding, this lady just lost her 3 kids. Even if it's her fault, she lost her 3 kids. And I'm just going to tell you the position I had that day was, I hate this shooting and nothing's going to happen to him. Because by the rules of engagement, he was right. I still hate the shooting because there's a small chance that he walked her into that. Right? That's analysis. That analysis falls both on the left and the right. This is why you have to rid yourself of your desire. Yeah, of your desire to just fall to your little toxic party. I'm gonna release some information today that talks about how this happened to us as a country, because it's been happening since 1780. I already shot the contact yesterday. I'm gonna release it today. All right. So my desire now, watch this. 99% of my friends that are not all of y'all are my friends now, but like I have a tribe. My tribe is entrepreneurs. We're all moderates. Most of us are center right logistically, meaning right legislation. Freedom, faith, family, free markets, firearms. Everything else, get the fuck away from me. I don't fucking want to hear it. I don't care. Don't tell me no emails. I don't give a fuck. Get away from it. Get away from me. And because the left doesn't even talk about it, see, you have a big chance to get some capture. Just start talking about the shit. That actually is called kitchen table issues. This is why Mom Donnie in New York won. Listen to me. Do you know there's like 3 mayors in the whole country that has Trump's direct cell phone number? Mom Donnie's one of them. The people that on the right, they're saying he's going to ruin the country. He's this and he's that. He went to Trump's office and him and Trump were like best friends. Love your input on what? Retired, service member, and intellectual. Yeah, go ahead. Drop the question. Mom Donnie, this guy that we're saying is going to ruin the country, he started talking to people's kitchen table issues. He's already made some major moves. Do you know he just got $1 billion from the state that was supposed to go to something, and he just made childcare free for 2 and 3 year olds? I'm going to tell you, all right, watch this. We're in a country where you can't have kids because you can't afford childcare. I understand some of his ideology it's out of the bounds of which in a city and state that I would want to live in. But if you're in New York, you can't even have kids. Now, there's a poll they just released where people are thinking about having kids and staying in New York. He made a piece, it's $26,000 for childcare in New York per year. He made a piece of legislation. He made a piece of legislation that focused on families, and now the birth rate in the most unaffordable place in the country, quite possibly in the world, is about to shoot up. There were people in the audience that were talking about, they're thinking about having a second child now. There are 1 kid, it's like China, 1 kid policy. And that simple legislation is going to increase the birth rate in a small piece of property in America. But all we heard was now I'm going to tell you what I didn't like. But he did the same thing Trump does. He came out and says we're going to tax whiter, affluent areas. He said that because he didn't have any money and he was running for office and he was trying to get what? Earned media. When I saw that, it made it to my algorithm when he was first running. And I was like, whoa, hold up, bro. Don't you fucking start this shit. And then I had to break it down. And I was like, he's doing the same thing Trump did. So when he went to Trump's office 2 weeks ago, and Trump, he was standing right next to Trump. Trump was sitting at his desk. Trump was laughing and smiling the whole time. They asked Mamdani right next to him, do you still think he's a fascist? Trump said, hey, just say yeah. Trump looked at Mamdani, was like, just say yeah, it's easier. You're good. And started laughing. And then he started laughing and he said, yeah. See, Trump fucks with people that play the game. Trump fucked with him. And now the mayor of New York, what's the last mayor name? The brother? The brother didn't have his fucking phone number. The last Eric did not have Trump's phone number. Mamdani has Trump's direct phone number now. Trump was literally putting shit out on True Social about him. They're going to deport him and riling his base up. Trump plays the fucking game. And I told y'all 2 months ago, there's this much daylight between Trump and Obama. And now I said it yesterday, Trump's not a Republican. I hate to fucking break it to you. I probably ain't breaking it to some of y'all. I hate to break it to you. Trump is not a Republican. Trump's an opportunist. Right? All right. So we're gonna establish that. Most of my friends, the overwhelming majority of the people that I would console in and confide in are in the markets. We're in business, we're entrepreneurs, so we're data driven, and most of us are right of center. Only and mainly because the left, you don't even have a conversation about it. And I just proved it by telling you, you've been voting on that shit. You've been voting on that shit forever. You don't even know that the president and everybody know, my people know this. Black people are mad at Obama. This is how. So when you tell me, you come here and tell me, I don't want to hear about politics. I don't give a fuck what you want to hear. You're fucking the culture up. You're fucking the party up. You don't know nothing. And then you literally, black people have the nerve to say Obama didn't do nothing for black people. While not even understanding 14, 12 years after he left office, all the shit he did. You didn't take advantage of any of it. And because you're still over there doing that fucking bullshit. So don't think that I'm going to have a program that is designed to create awareness, that is designed to teach you, give you a fucking blueprint to create a multimillionaire, and you're going to come in here and not get your bullshit checked at the door. That's exactly what we're going to do, because you're not going to ruin it for us. You're not going to ruin it for us, right? All right, so that's kind of why I do that. All right, he's a businessman. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's not a fucking Republican. You can best believe that. I would say he's a conservative. I don't think he's definitely not a flaming liberal. And if you are, that's fine too. All right. What's the question you asked? What's your opinion and stance on wanting Greenland? All right. Here's another one. This is another one. I did a piece of content that kind of went relatively viral about Trump taking Greenland. We tried to buy it 100 plus years ago. We tried to buy it. We tried to buy it in 1951. We offered. We got Alaska for $12 million. We paid $12 million for Alaska. That's crazy. But we tried to buy it again under Truman, and they said no. However, in 1951, we did a piece of legislation that gives us unbridled access to. We can build bases there. There's a lot we can do. I'm gonna give you. I still have one piece of content, one piece of information. Remember, I told you I got a required reading list. Watch this. All of you guys should have this. All of y'all should have this. This is my required reading list. I have one in here. I read something yesterday about the polar ice cap. I can't speak on it intelligently yet because I need to go do research on it to figure out why additionally do we need that, because something's happening with the whole earth warming and all that. So I'm going to go read about that today. It's one of my required reading things. I had some other shit I had to read from 4 to 6, and I'm going to make myself more aware because it's going to fit into my analysis. Do you know what's not going to be first? Whether I'm left or right. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm in business. I'm going to go do their research and figure out the analysis because I understand that they're doing this for a reason and they're playing a game. What's the end game to this? One, strategically, we can't have Russia and China there. It's the reason why we did Bay of Pigs in 62. It's the reason why we just went ahead and make no mistake. People are making the case that we're not running Venezuela. You're crazy if you think we're not running that shit. We left their people there because we learned the lessons in Iraq. When we disbanded the Ba'ath Army, this are the people we fought for 2 decades. The people in the military with no job. They were senior military. So now we didn't necessarily take it. We're running the country through their people. We took the leader, which has shaken everybody to their core. There's not a person that can sign any document in Venezuela right now that doesn't go home that has slept well since then. They've been sleeping too good because they've been robbing the people for decades. The entire system of government is corrupt. Not like they have, like we at least have Democrats and Republicans. And I like the fighting between them because I like the gridlock. It gives me more power. If Trump had every congressman in America, and Trump had every senator in America and every city council person, and they were all Republicans, bro, dude, we would be you know how fucking crazy this country would be? All right, so I'm giving you some context first. All right, so the Greenland thing is quite possibly initially a military maneuver. It's asking me to do some check on this thing real quick. Give me 1 second. It's a military maneuver to make sure we don't have any of our known enemies, our known threats in our hemisphere. There is something additionally with that polar ice cap that I have to figure out, right? And I'm going to figure it out today, and I'll probably drop it tomorrow. All right, so even me, you should try not to speak on things you don't have expertise in. I'm continuing to build this out. I have expertise in the military one, but now, so I am 1,010% in favor of occupying. I don't know that you can take something with somebody that got a deed. Occupying Greenland for the safety of the Western Hemisphere and the world. However, we are saying we're going to occupy Greenland. This is good. Thanks for the question. We're saying we're going to occupy Greenland because we have a threat from China and Russia. In the 1990s, we bought Alaska already. We already own Alaska. So we don't have to, we're already there. We have nuclear power there, so it's no big deal. In 1990s, Putin told Clinton, do not put Ukraine in the UN and don't put nukes on my border. This is the combat veteran, business owner, Team America. Look at this shit. I'm Team America. I'm doing a fair analysis. You see how that works? So right now, if you're a bleeding Democrat or Republican, you can't even do this because you're blind by your party. This hurts you for you to hear me say this. This is why you're going to fail in business. I'm going to bring it back. Watch this. So I'm saying, okay, our stance is that we don't want China and Russia on our border, thus making it easier to attack us. And Putin has been saying the same thing for decades. He had the assurance of Clinton. He had the assurance of Bush. He had the assurance of Obama. If you remember, Obama went through some shit in 2014 when they said, why, think of trade routes, why won't, because in 2014, Obama had an ability to fast track them into the Ukraine. And Obama asked, you had to be in the game at this point. If you weren't in the game, you probably don't remember this. He said, is anybody willing to go to war over this? And everybody was quiet. All right. And so then he didn't do it. And now all of a sudden, the Biden administration gets in. The Biden administration gets in. Sister Kamala, I don't think they were asleep, man. They were asleep. Sister Kamala went to the UN and said, yeah, we're going to fast track the Ukraine in. 2 days later, they invaded Ukraine. Go do your own research. 2 days before he invaded the Ukraine, she was at the UN saying, yeah, we're going to fast track. Just saying some shit, undoing 20 plus years of actual policy 2 days later, and we've lost 1 million kids. You see how consequential your decisions and your actions and your words are? I'm not saying it's their fault. It's fucking Putin's fault, and he should not. And he is a war criminal for killing those kids. However, being said that, what is the difference in his position and our position on the geopolitical scale? It's the same fucking position. You see how you have to be an independent to provide that analysis? No Republican or no Democrat can say that. You only like, no, Putin this and ours this and ours this. So I've always tried to make, and then 99% of the time, as a motherfucker that ain't spent 1 second in war. I've done that. That shit's horrible. It's terrible, right? And so we need to get them kids out of there. We need to stop that war and release them kids from that horrible, what's happening to their country. They're changing the demographics of their country for the history of the world. Now, I gave the research on that. In 2014, I got to go back. In 2008, he took Georgia. Georgia was a friend of ours. 2006, they were in Iraq with me, and they helped us by securing this one bridge. I'll never forget the country of Georgia. 2 years later, he went and put 2 core-sized elements in Georgia and took over Georgia. So he already owns that. 2014, he took Crimea. You know what Crimea is? Crimea was the place where it had water passage and a highly dense, nutrient dense territory. 2022, he goes into the Donbass province. The Donbass province was like 80% Russian speaking. How the hell you know who has whose number? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Ask you. What's the question you got? What's the question you want? I'm drawing conclusions. This is called analysis. Fuck you talking about? It's called analysis. Ask the question and speak English, and don't be like all emotional. I can answer your question. When you say you're drawing conclusion, not speaking facts, what fucking conclusion? Were you in here talking shit? What fucking conclusion? You see what I'm saying? I already know what I could tell what his politics are, and I can tell you probably not doing that well in life. I'm just being honest. You haven't cracked any code in terms of entrepreneurship, and I can tell you're a Democrat. This is how y'all talk. I'm giving you chronological timelines of shit that I participated in and stuff I'm doing analysis on, right? And you're fucking asking me, so I'm giving you my analysis, motherfucker. Now, you tell me, instead of just saying, bro, you're drawing conclusions, fucking what are you talking about? This is how they talk. There's no granularity to people on the far left. They just talking and they just say a lot of shit. All right. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. I'm saying somebody's over here with their panties in a brunch asking, would you agree that people who go into the armed forces become brainwashed? No, I wouldn't agree. Were you in the military? He's asking me what people in the military become brainwashed. I literally had a top secret clearance and I ran operations all over the globe. I teach this. I'm teaching you. You're probably African American because I've seen this name before, but I don't know who you are. You're probably African American, and you won't even admit that I just told y'all we created 1,000 millionaires a day in Obama's first term, and you don't know nothing about that. All right, the 5%ers would never fight. Oh God. Okay, you're fucking this motherfucker. You're done. You blocked. This motherfucker just see. This is the problem. I want y'all to see this too. He's gonna have all these bullshit ass, very emotional state, and then he says they would never fight a white man's war. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is who I'm going to tell you. 100% of the kids that fuck with me will never listen to these kind of people anymore. He had to bring race in it because he doesn't have any answers. He's not that smart, probably a flaming Democrat, and you're broke in a country, in the most prosperous country in the history of the world. And you feel some kind of way because someone that looks like you is providing analysis. That's your fucking loss, bro. That's your fucking loss. All right. So what we're doing is I'm providing analysis and I'm backing it up with a chronological timeline and historical data. That's called analysis. Now he's gonna get his work. This is why I do this, to make sure you don't come in the program and fuck it up for us. It's his kind of person that has no vision. You don't have any skill sets. I come in here and we talk high level business. I'm fucking teaching you how to build the foundation of building a multi-million-dollar empire. And it's going to go over your head because you're not that smart. See, I'm just being 100% honest. But it's not the fact that you don't understand this. It's that you're not humble enough to shut the fuck up and listen. You just want to argue and be. See, we got to stop saying being feminine. We got to stop saying being feminine because women don't act like that no more. It's these kind of men. There's a new kind of man that we've created that has less testosterone, that has hips and shit. And they are like to the left of women. Because the women, because they don't have adequate mates, they've had to buy their own houses and start their own businesses because they can't depend on these motherfuckers. So I have stopped saying you're being feminine. That is disrespectful to women. I got women in my program that are killers. These kind of men, y'all are the fucking worst. You're a literal disgrace to the genome. And we're gonna let you have it. Yeah, we're gonna let you have it, homeboy. Oh, I'm gonna get this count banned too. My bad. All right. Do you see why I do it? Do you see why I fucking do it? My women, look, go ask anybody about the women in my program. My women are killers. It makes sense why they're single. It fucking makes sense why they're single. I am now singing through their eyes. When I was like, what are y'all doing? This thing ain't designed for you to. No. These motherfuckers, then we're going to move to Rumble. You got to go like my Rumble channel because when they block this one too, but we're going to get this work. These type of people that got nails and hips, and the women looking at you like, what the fuck? The women are asking, boy, see, a lot of my girls, they reach out to me. I don't even want to do this. No, I can't do this. They are telling me something. They're telling me something. I should make another one. Yeah. They're telling me. They're now telling me. It makes 1,000% sense why women are single well into their 40s. They just want to have a kid at this point. I fucking get it. I thought that was the worst strategy ever. It makes a lot of sense. They're out earning you. They're outperforming you. They're smarter than you. They're tougher than you. Bro, what the fuck happened? What happened? And I need another word because I can't call these dudes feminine men. The fucking women are crushed killers. All the women in my program, all the women in my life, they're getting it. They're getting it. It's these fucking dudes, man. And they're I'm telling you, something happened. Something happened to them, and to where they're almost reacting to adult conversations emotionally, irrationally, and in generalities. This is not, a man is not supposed to do that. Do you know what a man is also supposed to do? He's supposed to know when he's right or wrong. I started answering your question by saying there's a piece of research that I need to do that I don't have yet. So I've got another video I just filmed. Do you know how you can tell who you need to be around and who you need to get away from? This is one of the things we say in business. Subject to new information, I changed my mind. That allows you to remain humble and still continue to grow. You got a dumb motherfucker that makes a decision on something and lives with that for 30 years. No matter what has happened in life, everything about the planet changed. And because you're ego-driven, not data-driven, you can't say, I say subject to new information, I might change my mind. I'm telling you, to watch this. I'm going to show you my evolution on Greenland. Because I gave you the posture, historically, what happened, and the posture of what happened in Greenland, I'm saying 100%. We need to occupy it. I like that. Yeah. We need to occupy it. You can't, because you can't make a fucking, why are you still here? Why are you still here? What do you want? What do you want, bro? I don't understand what you want. Why are you still here? I don't understand what you want. You're not making, oh, my bad. Did I block you? Oh, no, I blocked him. Okay. All right. You're still here. All right. You can disagree with me with a fact. Just tell me how you think and what the actual data behind it is. Right? You're attacking what I said. This is what they do, man. If you haven't been to any Democrat meetings, or honestly, far-right Republicans, they do this thing. There are no meetings, there are only town halls. Everybody gets to scream. And I'm going to tell you, in a business meeting, everybody don't get to talk. Sometimes you got to shut the hell up. Right? All right. I'm going to tell you the dichotomy of my position. I'm giving you a chronological laydown of how I am 1,000% for us occupying it. And I also said, I don't know how you take somebody that has a property that's deeded to them on an international scale. That's a bad precedent to set. And 2 days ago, the president or the prime minister of Denmark showed everybody a letter Trump wrote them. And Trump said, because you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize. Listen to this shit. Trump said, because you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I'm no longer, I don't think I'm no longer authorized to remain or act 100% in a peaceful manner. What, motherfucker? Bro, this ain't got nothing to do with you. You're occupying our house temporarily. In fact, your ass is almost gone. And in fact, it's shit like this why I want you to lose the midterms. I want you to get your ass kicked in the midterms because you need to shut the fuck up with that shit. You can't wait to say something fucking, bro, I ain't never heard no shit like that. This motherfucker wrote a letter to the prime minister and 7 other countries. So those tariffs that he put on those countries, I'm saying he was using it as a negotiation tactic in order to get them to the table to do something on Greenland because he don't want to pay $750 billion for it. It might be worth more than that. But this motherfucker put in that letter. And then I'm going to tell you what far right people are going to say. Oh, he's playing 4D chess. Bitch, you lose at checkers. You lose at solitaire. That's not 4D chess, you fucking idiot. See, people just be so in love with the personality, they can't be truth about him. I voted for Obama and Trump. He did a lot of the shit already that I want him to do. And when you do shit like that, I'm going to hold your ass accountable. How fucking dare you play with levy tariffs, further hurting the American people first. Tariffs hurt us first. It levels out later. Your government has a lot of money in the bank and y'all don't, because peanut butter is $5, you don't want to hear that. I'm telling you, tariffs are good in the long run, in resetting the global order. But we already have reciprocal tariffs on these countries. He just put a 10% tariff on them starting February 1st, and it's going to go to June 1st. And if they don't have a deal in place, it goes to 25%. The economy's done. So on the same month, when you announced that thing that I did that went viral talking about, hey guys, he didn't tell y'all the whole thing, but I lived through QE last time. He said they're going to do a housing thing. He's going to pick a Fed chair. And I put the rest of the analysis together, Mr. fucking feminine ass man. And I let everybody know. And there's a lot of big time people in there that co-signed the shit, right? Those of us that were in the market 15, 20 years ago. And by doing this, you'll ruin it. This is how we need to hold them accountable. All of the good shit that you're about to do for the market, to saturate the market, we need 5 million homes. Guess what? He's talking to builders. I'm a fucking general contractor. We're going to lower the interest rate. Guess what? That's going to create QE. And there's going to be a correction for some of y'all that bought a house in the last 4 years. If you look at my personal accounts, I've been screaming at y'all, don't you buy no fucking house. I've been screaming at my friends. Like, I've been cussing my friends out. Don't buy no fucking house. This is not the time to buy a house. Last 4 or 5 years. You bought a house in the last 4 or 5 years, unless it was a foreclosure, your ass is about to have a correction. We went through this. We already went through this, right? We already went through this. All right. So I'm doing the analysis and saying chronologically, no, not right now, unless it's a foreclosure, and you better know what you're doing because you won't get robbed. You buy a house right now, it needs to be a motivated seller that has that's underwater or something wrong with their house. But then if you get the house at a good deal and you get fucked on the remodel, what did you do? You see what I'm saying? Don't do that. You're gonna have to understand how to control the remodel budget. We cover real estate next month. All right. By the way, Spartan 360 is now only $10 a month. This doesn't exist anywhere on the internet. This doesn't exist anywhere on the internet. Scan the QR code. It's $10 a month. Come get this work. Bring your ass in here and get this work. He's in my program. All right. We need land. Yeah, I'm gonna teach you about all that shit. All right. So I'm telling you, so what I'm saying is, so scan the QR code, it takes you to the program, it's $10 a month. You're going to get the most elite business education ever in the history of the world. I'm telling you right now. That's my people. But bro, I'm paying for it. No, you're not. You missed training last night. That's why the hell you don't know what you're talking about. You're supposed to cancel today and redo it. We talked about that. If you bring your ass to training, we talked about that last night. But you didn't bring your ass to training, so now you don't know. Right? We had a vote on it. We talked about it. I broke down something in the group. I did some research. I broke it down in the group, and we all said, yeah, I know you had to work. But you're going to cancel it. You're going to cancel your yesterday subscription. I already changed the price. It's now $10, and cancel your yesterday subscription and go. Because see, these guys are paying $45 a month. But when I get off these lives, 8, 10, 12, 15 of y'all hit me and say you can't afford it. This is about y'all. It's not about me. So we literally lowered the price to get more people in there. All right. You ain't get no fucking refund. I'm going to block your ass if you ask for a refund, motherfucker. Especially you got a business. Ask me for a fucking refund, I'm going to block your ass. I'm telling you right now. No, I'm just playing. I told anybody, if you paid the $45 and you felt some kind of way about it, let me know and I'll cash app you. And everybody said no. And this motherfucker going to say something. I'm like, boy, you crazy as hell. Is age 29 too late? What? Are you fucking crazy? You're a baby. You're a fucking baby, bro. Don't let no Asian. The only way. Okay, this kid said right here. So now you young, so you one of my kids. This kid said it's 29 too late to start a new path. The only place 29 is too late to start a new path is on Instagram. And those fucking liars. No, you're a baby. My famous saying is your 20s are for learning, your 30s are for earning. The problem is you guys are in a rush to make money to impress the girls that ain't thinking about your ass. You need a fucking big ass tool bag full of tools. You don't know how to do nothing, which is why you're changing paths. I am in favor of, I wish you to change paths 3 times in your 20s. You need to have a very diverse set of skills and experiences in order to make you virtually unstoppable in the market. That makes sense? 29 is not too late to start over, bro. You're a baby. You got fucking, in 2 or 3 years, you can be a multimillionaire. You're a baby. You fucking start over. Good for you. Congratulations. You changed your mind. Guess what? That's a great thing. Subject to new information, I'm going to change my mind. So no, you need to follow me. You need to hit me up. You need to scan that QR code and pay and get to it's fucking $10. Come in here. I want to meet you. I want to see what the fuck you got going on. We're going to put you on the plan. All right. That's what the fuck I do. All right. I'm 41. I don't give a shit. Oh, no, I know. You telling him, I know. Yeah. I'm 39. What I'd give to go back to what? I'm 53. I'm 53. Now I don't have no fucking, I've been in the game. I've always been trying new shit. So I'm good. My bad, dog. My bad. No, my bad. I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were talking to me. No, you good. So, all right. No, you're a baby. Good for you. Yes, man. You need a different tribe. You're a baby. Everybody here, literally, you're self-conscious because you're saying you're 29 and it might be too late. And everybody's like, boy, do you know what the fuck I would do to be 29 again? Yeah. We got 40, 50, and 60-year-olds in there. It'll take you a hot 6 months. Give me 6 months. I'll change everything about your goddamn life. I just lowered it to bring everybody in now. It's $10. Fucking send it to your friends. Let's get a couple thousand people in there. And then let's go. I'm going to take you out to DC. I'm going to show you shit you ain't never seen before. Right? Yes. Need to relocate brick and mortar. Options are slim. I'm looking. Yeah. Whoa. Your issues are what? Downstream from what, boo-boo? We've already had our first consultation. Your issues are downstream from what? Say it. Before I go on, I want you to say it. Your issues, the couple of issues you have are what? Downstream from what? I'm going to wait for you to say it, boo-boo. Don't tell me you forgot already. Your issues are downstream from what? Come on, say it before I go on. No. Oh, okay. Your issues are downstream from revenue, though. All right. So anyway, that's the QR code right there. All right. So I'm just showing you how this is twice today. I gave you my take on the ICE shooting. I fucking hate the shooting, and nothing's gonna happen to him because according to the rules of engagement, he was 100% legit. She didn't know them, which is why I'm using that to show y'all: don't you get tricked out of your heartbeat. You don't know what the rules of engagement are. You actually hate cops if you're on the far left. You love cops if you're on the far right, and none of y'all go on ride-alongs. You don't even understand the rules of engagement. Why don't you figure out who your zone chief is? You should have your zone chief's phone number in your phone. Why don't you figure out who your zone chief is? Why don't you go start doing ride-alongs? All right, I'm gonna tell you what changed your life. Last political season, I took a homeboy of mine who's a big-time figure, and we were like, "Are we gonna do this ride-along?" So we met. Would you buy a trailer home in a trailer park? No. Jump in my program. Scan that right there. Jump in my program. I'll give you analysis on what you need to do. All right. So I took watch this. This is a true fucking story. So we get a lot of big time political figures around here, and I took one of them on a ride along. The sheriff, my boy, we were going on a ride along, and where we met was supposed to be what they call Zone 1. Every city got one. We literally went to the street I grew up on. It's called Myrtle Ave. I grew up on 18th. We went to 16th and Myrtle because that's like a parking lot. It used to be a restaurant. We went to 16th and Myrtle, and we mustered around 2200, 10 o'clock. Bro, we were there just getting the in brief. We hear carjacking in progress. Come over the radio. We hear boom. It's one block over. Everybody jump in the cars, and we start heading that way. He carjacked the car, carjacked somebody, got him out of the car. Oh, we disagree on law enforcement. Yeah, you're wrong. This is my boy for 25 years. You're wrong on that, Spencer. You're wrong on that. And I know you grew up in DC, but you're revenue. That's right. All right, you're wrong on that, Spencer. You're wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. This is my boy for 25 years. All this shit I'm telling y'all, he saw me do all this shit. All right, so he carjacked somebody, and we're going towards there. He wrecks that car. So he wrecks that car, and he gets out of the car. He starts running. Okay, you with Spencer. And you niggas ain't saying shit about all the kids. Our kids are killing kids. You motherfuckers ain't saying shit about that, but you hate the police. But you ain't saying nothing about what we're doing to our own kids. I'm gonna fucking check you on that. I care about the kids. I don't care about your feelings about cops. They don't want to be there. Why don't you police your own fucking neighborhoods? If you police your own fucking neighborhoods like I do ours, guess what? I ain't seen a cop in 3 or 4 months out here. Police your own fucking neighborhoods and they won't be there. But we have to have cops there because the fucking men ain't policing your own neighborhood. So you're gonna miss me on that shit. Right? Either you're gonna do it and you're gonna get shot and fucked up, or they have to do it. But somebody has to fucking do it because those grandmas and shit got left in the hood and they're by them fucking selves. And we can't even be honest about the crime in our own fucking community, which is why we can't solve it. We blame everything on everybody else. It's our community and it stems from our fucking music. And it stems from our fucking music. All right. He carjacked somebody. He fucking gets the dude out the car, takes the car, because the police, we coming now. Boom, he runs into another car. Boom, T-bone him. He gets out, starts running. He's running, but we in the hood. So they shotgun homes, right? He's jumping fucking fences. And this dude that we got with us, he's like, bro, where I'm from is like the downtown. It's like right next to downtown, 2 miles from downtown. The fucking eye in the sky was already there. The helicopter's already there. Shine the light down on him. He starts shooting at the helicopter. Now, I'm going to leave it right there. This is what I told him. Motherfucker, all these kids that live here heard that shit. And they got to go to school tomorrow. This is our kids go through extra additional shit that where I live right now, these kids they've barely even seen it on TV. They don't even have a concept that shit happens. I was like, it happens every fucking day in some of the poorer neighborhoods that are riddled with crime, relatively low information relative to fixing their own shit. And the only people that do make it leave. So they're left with the people that have the least amount of tools in the tool bag to try to solve societal problems. Which is why every time you go to our community and talk about shit, the very few people that are still there, some fucking pastors and people and activists, they always say racism. There's never an economic discussion to be had because what you realize is that no one's going to put good money after bad. If I put money in area, I need to secure my investment. The fuck you talking about? And until we clean up our own fucking... See, we can't even have accountability about our own fucking shit. This is our shit. This is our fucking community. And most motherfuckers didn't really grow up in the hood like that. And the reason why I do is because I'm really from the fucking hood. Everybody know me. I'm like, no, motherfucker, we got to tighten up our own shit first before we blaming everything on racism and fucking cops. The cops, there are a portion of them that are shitty people. 95% of them are decent human beings, and you're not giving them a fucking chance. But I don't see you on ride-alongs. I don't see you in the hood policing your fucking streets. And you're talking all this shit about just the cops. Who else is going to do it? Do you see what the fucking crime, what the murder rate in our community is right now, and there are cops there? What if they weren't there? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here. And if you were data-driven and data-based, you would look at the data and say, we lose 10,000 kids every year. 8 to 10,000 kids every year. 99.9% of them are getting killed by other African-American kids. My barber, I'm getting a cut yesterday. My barber just went to trial last week. This is anecdotal, and I don't like using anecdotes, but everybody black knows this shit. I was asked last week how many white people know somebody that was murdered. No white people. I've been asking my friends this. I asked everybody black in here, how many people do you know were murdered? I lost 40 homeboys to the streets before I went to the army. I'm 50 years old. I lost 40. I was in the fucking 80s. I'm in the streets in the 80s where everybody was getting smoked. I lost 40 homeboys to the streets before I went to the army. You're not going to fucking tell me shit about the hood, bro. And so I asked my white friends, how many people you know got murdered? This is why the Charlie Kirk thing is so big to them. They don't know. They don't live in a world where that shit happens. That's actually very abnormal to live in a world where people that you know get kidnapped, killed, and cut up. Yes, we're telling the fucking truth here. This is why I don't want everybody in my program. Because if you can't acknowledge that, it's not saying it's your fault. I'm saying it's our fault. And we got to fucking do something about it. Right? All right. So, what was I saying? Anyway, so we had that happen. And I'm like, yeah, those kids that heard that, they got to go to school tomorrow. And this is what has just happened. All of our kids are hyper affected by our crime rate and shit that we can't stop. We can't stop it. So we have to pacify the neighborhood and stop that shit first. First, we got to start talking about this music. We can't even talk about the music. See, the same people that hate the cops, with all this shit got going on, you can't even tie music to the fucking murder rate and to all the crime. There's no accountability on your side. You have no accountability on your side, and you're blaming everything on race. Not here, bro. You do that shit over there. You can't do that shit here. And this is my motherfucker here. Me and this nigga go back 20-something years. He'll tell you I was doing this shit 20-something years ago. I was seeing that kid. Yes, you goddamn right you were. And what you're saying, you hate the police. I used to get my ass kicked by the police. I was full. There was a cop called 74. His car number was 74. And he used to beat our ass all the time. But guess what? I was selling dope in Justina, motherfucker. What the fuck? Why are we acting like we don't be doing shit? And then like there's only the cops fucking with us. We used to run for the motherfucker every goddamn day. But guess what? He would find dope every fucking day. Right? Because that's where the fuck. I don't know anyone who's been murdered. I'm over 50, South Central Indiana. Okay, you a damn lie. Indiana, in fucking Gary, Indiana, you a goddamn lie. You a lie. You lying. Just go on, keep scrolling, homeboy. We ain't doing that here. We ain't doing that here, bro. We are not doing that here, bro. We ain't doing that here. It is the fucking music. It's the music. It is the fucking music. And I was here. I'm older than all y'all. I'm older than my homeboy. I was here when we had really good music. And then the CIA penetrated our music and started doing rap beef. Did you know that? No, because they did that before. This is how we have war themes and anthems. And they've been using music to propagandize people for centuries. In particular, the last 100 years. Go look at World War I, World War II, how they used propaganda to launch war on each other. When they saw us building shit in our community in the late 80s, early 90s, when hip hop first came out, they was like, oh, hell no. We got to do something about this shit. The first rap beef was Kumo D, Gary, Indiana. How the fuck is that in Chicago? How is Gary, Indiana, Chicago? What are you talking about? You goddamn right you have. I know we're telling the truth here. They were telling the truth here. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying we're telling the truth about our own community. So this is why we can't grow. Because we don't have any Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, that's definitely. We lose 1,000 kids there almost every year. Do you know what 1,000 kids are? 1,000 kids is a battalion plus of infantry. We lose a battalion of infantry kids in Chicago alone every fucking year. See, I care about the kids. I don't care about your feelings. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad he said that. Everybody was shocked. Y'all were shocked as fuck when the kids were playing the Delta Force in the CH-47, the Chinook, the one with the two. As they're going in towards the castle, they played the inside of it and they were listening to Chief Keef. I'm going to tell you why. You are looking at these people. There are people walking around here that y'all have no idea what they can do. Those are 24 and 25-year-old kids. Time out. Those are 24 and 25-year-old kids. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. No. Boo, you're 1,000% wrong. In our community, the pastors have lost their grip. A pastor can't do nothing. They are talking and nobody cares. In every community, the only reason that you live in a relatively safe area is because you're business leaders. Boo. I've been doing this a long time. In the Black community, we have a meeting and there's a bunch of pastors and then nothing happens. I'm in the dominant class in the meetings too. There's a bunch of business owners. They set the pastor comes and he prays over the meeting and he goes and sits down and shuts up. See, this is how our counterparts do it. And that's why they don't have any problems in their community. Poor white people choose not to be a part of that. That's why they have so many problems in their community. You see? So there are people in this country that do it a certain kind of way, and we need to adopt those. The business community runs the shit. I love pastors. I'm not trying to be mean. They don't run nothing. They don't know how to do nothing. Anybody listen to them? During election season, they invite politicians down and they bring all these people. I tell them, I need you to go there 2 Sundays from now. There's going to be 13 people in there. And when it's time to do praise and worship, 12 of them going to get up and go behind the pastor and start singing. They're talking to themselves. Ain't nobody in there. You can't even say that in our community. I'm fucking saying it. Right? I came home raging war on shit. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. All right. So those kids were listening to Chief Keef, bitches love so in the chopper on the way to Maduro's thing, and people lost their shit. I'm like, why? Do you not know who those kids are? Those kids just graduated high school 5 or 6 years ago. They took a path. They probably went special forces or they went SEALs. They got selected from those 2 groups and they became Delta. These are 24 and 25-year-old kids. They played football. They played basketball. They did MMA in high school and they probably did college or whatever, maybe got hurt or the college thing didn't go. We pick from the top and we make athletes run the army. That's why I did so well. Athletes run the fucking military. And then you could keep going. So those kids that went to Maduro and snatched him up out of his house, those are 24 and 25-year-old kids. That's what the fuck they listen to, right? And then I just got this fucking idiot on my Whatcom channel is telling me that we shouldn't be fighting the white man's war. You're a fucking idiot. This is the people that talk in our community. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. I was in the military 20 years. I was in the military 20 fucking years. There is a small group of people that are fucking idiots on both sides. The majority of us are athletes. We've all played ball and did all this shit with each other our whole life. We run the fucking military. And I got an idiot who's probably a Democrat with no life experience. He's probably broke and he's hurt and he's acting more feminine than females. And he's talking, he's probably got on fucking polish and hips. And he's talking about why would you be in the white man's army? And now you're scaring a generation of black kids, and where the fucking military is the number one thing to take African Americans, actually Americans, from poverty to the middle class. You're looking at, the only reason you're here because I've done well over $100 million in business, and I started in the military. I started my fucking rebound in the fucking military. A lot of you motherfuckers need to join the military. You're selfish and you're borderline racist. This is everybody. All right, you're fucking selfish and you're borderline racist. I'm just saying, I fought for my goddamn country. And the problem is you're an adult and you haven't been in the foxhole in a meaningful capacity with somebody that doesn't look, act, and sound like you. It's like a generation of people that didn't serve. Go look at, I got this chart where it shows congressmen and all the politicians that served in the military. And now it's like nobody. I'm in the business community. I'm in the upper echelons. There are no fucking veterans in there. And when they are, and they're not being mean, but they're Navy. They're just like I'm talking about, there ain't nobody kicking in doors. Right? All right. So this is a problem for our country because you're an adult and you don't understand why I would be talking like this. No, this is how the country used to be. It ain't that fucking great as you think no more. It used to be great, right? But now we're kind of losing to everybody that comes here. And it's because we had shared experiences. Yes, right? And I'm telling you, I will value you based on your personality, who you are, and your accomplishments, not your skin color. That ain't the first thing. Obviously, when we out, if I see you, we're going to dap and all that. But motherfucker, I'm going to give you the same fucking once over I give everybody else. Right? Because you might be one of these motherfuckers. And you know what? I think this guy my frat brother too. Because I've seen his name before and he be saying shit. And I think he is my frat brother. This is the fucking problem with us. I'm calling his ass out. I done blocked you off there. You can come over here. All right. Part of this is acknowledging that we have bullshit. We grew up poor. We grew up in the hood. We have a toxic way to look at this thing. And this is probably the most prosperous time in the history of the world. And all we're talking about is race. That's what your leaders are talking about. We're changing the conversation. All right. That's what we're doing. We're changing the conversation. All right. So I'm gonna get back to it. So yeah, that thing was full. Okay. Somebody asked about the Greenland. So I gave you really in-depth analysis on the Greenland. Don't the original frat, put it like that. So I gave you my in-depth analysis on the Greenland, and I gave it to you from both sides. I'm 100% for it strategically. And then Trump just sent a letter 2 days ago to saying y'all didn't vote for me for the fucking for the Nobel Peace Prize. And then I'm gonna tell you how this shit be making me want to cuss his ass out. That lady, okay, so there's a lady in Venezuela. She's the opposition leader. So let's just say right now, Hakeem Jeffries is the opposition leader. No, the original fact. Where did all y'all get y'all shit from? Not Divine Nine. Before that, there's a template that all y'all got y'all shit from. Y'all came hundreds of years later. All right. Say stuff like what? Yeah. So there's a lady who's the opposition leader in Venezuela, and she's trying to become the president. Maduro and his party run the shit. When they took Maduro, his fucking vice president is in charge right now. So they took Maduro, but we learned our lesson from Iraq, and they left the president there. And we told her, here's what you're going to say. You're going to say this. You're going to say that. We're going to let you say that so you can maintain control of your people. We tell you to fucking do something, you're going to do it. And she's locked in step because she wants to live, right? All right. So now, but she has to appear to the country as if she's still in charge. This is how you do that. Well, their version of Democrats, like the opposition leader right now, which is Hakeem Jeffries for America, she really wanted him to place her in charge of the country. She came here, bro, a few days ago and gave Trump her Nobel Peace Prize. And he fucking took it. Bro, this is fucking... I think this is terrible. It is such a terrible... No, man, why would you do that? Why would you take someone's Nobel Peace Prize? Well, I'm going to preface it by saying this. The reason why after they become president and like usually the next term, they build a presidential library is because they get gifts from all over the world. And the gifts and the artifacts from their presidency go into the presidential library. I would surmise he's going to put that one in Mar-a-Lago. That's what I'm saying. You are voting on people and you fall in love with them and this is your party. I'm voting. He's my public representative. That means when he's doing good, I'm with him. When he's not, I'm going to call his ass out. I don't see a scenario in where a woman, clearly she had to do something kick ass because she's a woman and she won the Nobel Peace Prize and she's trying to bribe him because everybody know that you can get him like that. And she brought him her Nobel Peace Prize and he fucking took it, bro. Your fucking president did that shit. Yeah, your president did that shit, bro. Come the fuck on, man. Come on. I'm not with that shit. And I'm going to tell the truth. I made a face out loud. I'm not with that shit. See, and we don't have any people in the country like that anymore. That is a I voted for Trump, I voted for Obama and Trump, and they're the same person. I've been proving that for y'all for 2 months. There were 3 or 4 things I needed him to do. He did it, and now we are on the right track. He's the only one that knows how to make money outside Obama. And how the fuck can you do that, boy? What are you talking about? Why the fuck did you take that lady's goddamn Nobel Peace Prize? What the fuck's wrong with you? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as a man that you would do that. Yes. What is worse? Him accepting? No, she did what she knows she could do. You could get at Trump. That's why he's offering people. That's why he's saying in order to sit on that Gaza board, I got a picture for that over here. Y'all ain't seen it yet. That's why he said to sit on that Gaza board, each country it's going to take them $1 billion. This is more Trump shit. They're setting up the Gaza peace board, and where they're going to turn Gaza into fucking. This is going to be the most beautiful thing on the face of the earth. I'm just telling y'all right now. You heard it here first. In 10 years, Gaza's going to look like we've never heard of. What's that shit y'all be going to? That country, Dubai. Gaza is going to be better than Dubai. Trust me. So he's getting people. He's telling countries, hey, you might want to come get some of this. This is what I'm fucking. What about the 2 million people that live there? What are you going to do with those people? This is why the kids can't stand all of us, because we're acting like there's not 2 million people there right now that are suffering. We're acting like they're not there. Yes. So I'm not going to make this statement without acknowledging there are 2 million people there that are starving. They're starving to death. They're getting unalived. How about those people? All right. So I'm going to say that first. But they're going to move those people, which is why they took Charlie Kirk out. They're going to move those people. See, you got to understand who owns this platform now. The people that own this platform are the people that fund the people that, all right, All right, that's why you got to come to Rumble. I can tell you the fucking truth over here. But you motherfuckers want to keep meeting me on goddamn TikTok. Hey, get that shit out of my goddamn chat. Hey, get that shit. Hey, erase that shit out of my goddamn chat. But they fucking block my ass. All right, we tell the truth over here. All right, so let's cut to the chase. I'm acknowledging I stand in solidarity with the people that deserve to live and the people that did that shit to Israel on October 7th or October 9th deserve to go bye-bye. Period. That is not okay. That is not okay, right? Those people, the 1.9 million people that live there and that has been poor for 40 years, what about those people? There are people, kids are starving. That's fucking crazy to me, bro. That's fucking crazy. That's just fucking unacceptable to me. It washes away anything we're going to do. We're doing good. We're living through a genocide. It washes away anything that we're doing good. All right, whatever. So we're going to speak into the future. They're going to do something with these people. I don't know what they're going to do, but whatever. And then they're going to turn Gaza into like the most amazing. It's actually, if you look at where it's at, it's beachfront. It's actually beachfront property, bro. And they're going to turn that thing into a million thing. All right. So then Trump said, all right, we're going to charge every, not a real is better way to start. Not real is a better way to start that. What do you mean? Say that. What do you mean? Not real. Oh, Israel, not real. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. So there he's telling countries, if you want to come sit on this board, it's going to cost you $1 billion. Why would a country do that? Anybody know? Because the country it's an investment. They're going to want certain kind of contracts and they're going to negotiate that prior to paying the bill. So if I pay the bill, this is what a country would do. Is a part of is that it's the same person, that crazy part. I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't matter. All right. So the person, let's say a country, a nation is going to come up with a bill. They're going to go talk to the developers and say, hey, they're going to talk to these people. There's going to be $4.7 billion worth of contracts that we're going to get. We're going to give you a bill now so that we can go do $4.7 billion in business. That's going to come back. That money's going to come back to our community, our country. And we're going to do what? We're going to do what? It's going to be a tax revenue base for 25 years. You see how this is how the world works. So they would say, yeah, and they would come to the table with $1 billion because they're going to be guaranteed. This is how Trump sees the world. He's transactional. Which is why when that lady from Venezuela went to his office, to the fucking White House with her actual Nobel Peace Prize, she's doing that in exchange for being the president. Watch this. The entire time he was like, she doesn't have enough power. He's been saying that about her. No, we can't do that yet. She don't have enough power. She don't have enough standing in the country. He just doesn't want the country to erupt. Ever since she been at the White House and gave him the fucking go look at his last 2 statements about her. He easy to get, man. He like a lot of y'all. He easy to get, man. He's soft in the middle. He's soft in the middle. That boy loves some goddamn compliments and some goddamn toys. Boy, Trump loves some goddamn compliments. Boy, that motherfucker cannot go without some goddamn compliments and some goddamn trinkets and shit. So, all right, just so you know, if you're trying to do in business, you got to you bring him some fucking trinkets and say, ooh, you are so handsome. And well, what do you need? What do you want? All right. Listen to what he said, the last 2 statements about her. Listen to the last 2 statements he said about her. The whole time he's been saying one thing, because she lobbied to become put in charge. And he was like, no, girl, you ain't got enough power. She bring him a Nobel Peace Prize. He's like, she's got some good points. I'm like, oh, fucking, get the fuck out of here, bro. All right. So he's taking that money. And now watch this. He's saying we need $1 billion. Not real is one of the countries. Yeah. Oh, you said we need a code word for it. All right. Somebody we need a code word for the people next to Gaza. We need a code word. All right. Well, forget that. Because I'm going to tell you, the young Jewish people they need help. The older ones are screwing up the earth for them. And they're still going to be here 3 or 4 decades from now. And the whole world's turned on them. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how you deploy empathy. Young Jewish people didn't do nothing. They just got here. All right. So, so watch this. So France came out 2 days ago. This is how Trump sees the world. So France came out 2 days ago and was like, we ain't doing that shit. We ain't paying no $1 billion in order to get on the Gaza board. You ain't finna fucking strong arm me like that. That's what the French president Macron said. You know what Trump said? We're gonna put a tariff on all their wines and spirits and champagnes. Bro, a Republican can't call that out. They were, as soon as he said it, they rationalized it in their head. If you're on the left, you did X, Y, and Z, right? But you're on the left, you helped create the war in Ukraine. That's your shit. It happened on your stance. We had war for 30 years in Sudan. No one even said about that. Trump said, y'all need to fucking stop right now. The leader of both parties, they've been at civil war for 30 years. They flew to the White House. Y'all ain't said nothing about that. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Black people, where y'all at? You ain't said nothing. He stopped the war for 30 years. He said, fucking stop. We on the way. The leaders of the opposition for 30 years have been annihilating each other. This is an African continent that doesn't have any oil. They got some Christians though, right? And he brought both of their ass to the White House, and they did a joint press conference. He'd just be rolling them in. He's like, all right, y'all good? Y'all good? Shake hands. Get your ass out of here. And he literally stopped the war. I don't fucking care what you think. That is a good thing. Guess what? Black people aren't dying right now. I would think that you race hustlers would think that's a good idea, but you would find a reason. Oh, he's fucking stopping the war, and because it's Trump, you would have a problem with him stopping a fucking civil war in an African country. You see how crazy this shit is? I'm doing it for both sides today. You see how absolutely crazy? This is why you have to have entrepreneurs as friends, because we operate from the middle. We may launch and lean a little right and launch and lean very little left right now because y'all out of pocket. But I got some shit about me that's left, just some, a little bit left, like 2 points out of 100. And then when we get rid of those shitty people, and then you're gonna have good people, and then most of us are gonna be more. That's how this shit works. Once you get good people and you start doing actual good things, instead of people like Pelosi wearing a fucking African kente and doing the George Floyd shit and bowing her knee, and look, anybody black, she bows her head and gets on her knee. Meanwhile, this motherfucker worth $200 million because she's fucking doing insider trading. This is what they do to y'all. And you keep voting for her. And she's worth $200 or $300 million because she's the most prolific stock picker in the history of this fucking stock market. She's a congresswoman. But as long as she bows and says, oh, white people, we so sorry. We so sorry for what we did. And she get her motherfucking ass up, and one of her people text her, and she texts her husband, and he run the fucking numbers, and they crush motherfuckers. This is who you vote for. You don't get his work today. Yeah, you get his work today. All right. So when they get rid of them and we get better people over there, and you start actually doing stuff that impact the people from the market perspective, then you're going to have the business community lean a little bit more left. This is our country. We don't have to do anything for you. This is our country. We steer the country. All right. And so this is what I desire for most of y'all. Most of y'all right now are hearing me like, and some of y'all are frowning, and then you're smiling, and then you frown again. And then you smile again. And then you frown again, and then you smile again. You're fucking going through it during this goddamn hour. Your ass is going through it. And I'm telling you, this is exactly how we all are. This is exactly how we are. What's up, boy? This is exactly how we all are. I'm just telling you. Look up greater is real play. Yeah. All right. So France said Patron. God damn. Speaking of, what's his name? Whatever his name is, the French president. He said, no, we ain't doing that shit. You ain't finna fucking blackmail me. And Trump was like, all right. He just said this last night. All right, I'm gonna put a fucking tariff on all your spirits and all your wines and all your champagnes. Macron. I say Patron. Macron. That's exactly how he thinks. That's how he's running the shit right now. I am not in favor. I don't like France at all. I don't like nothing about France. I am not in favor of that. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that, right? Right? I'm with him when he's right. I'm not with him when he's wrong. Some of y'all hate the cops, and you didn't say shit about the crime going on in our community. I'm with you when you're right. I'm not with you when you're wrong. The cops are there because we're smoking each other to the tune of $10,000 a year. Now, our young white kids are dying at $35,000 to $50,000 a year because of OD and self. I can't see. Can I say suicide? All right. We can disagree. Okay, that's fine. We can disagree. Mine is based on the facts, and I need to know what yours is based on because I'm trying to figure out who you are. We got to determine if we're going to have a relationship. I'm okay with you saying that, but I'm trying to get you to the data because no matter what I give you business-wise, you're going to fail thinking like that. You can't pick the winners. The market picks the winners. Does that make sense? I just showed y'all. You missed last night. I showed them an incredible podcast of two really, and then the whole conversation was life-changing for a lot of people that were in there. And they were saying these guys have done hundreds of millions, and they were just saying stuff like, yeah, I started 11 businesses. He said 4 of them closed down and 2 of them are on life support. The market picks the winners. We don't go into something picking the winners. We work fucking hard. Sometimes it doesn't work out. The market picks the winners, the people that are the most prepared, the smartest, the working the hardest. You go into it picking the winners, and if it doesn't work, it's because you couldn't see the other side. Now I'm going to tell you why it's detrimental to you to be left or right. Yeah. I'm going to tell you why it's detrimental. So I'm my job is I'm free. I do what I want. I have more stuff that's conservative than me, and a very few stuff right now that's more liberal than me. But more of my stuff's conservative because we're data driven, right? All your business owners are. This is why during political season, Black business owners that are married to Black women with Black kids go to Republican shit. They don't go to y'all shit no more. They're not there. I'm in my city. I do everything in my city. The only thing that's over there is white liberals and feminists, and these new species of male. This new okay. That's what I said. It's anecdotal. I understand. So I'm in your case. I got you. I got you. And I used to say I even was honest about myself. I got my ass kicked like 6 or 7 times by the cops. One time they kicked our ass and they hog tied us and put us in the back of the car. I'm in Florida, and I'm like 16, and they got us. They got 2 of us because they snuck up on us, and everybody ran. We used to just run. They never get us. One time I jumped in the pool. And I kept for like 45 minutes. I was under the pool, and I kept coming to the very top in the corner and just breathing. And I would go down, and then they left and shit. I used to run from the cops all the fucking time. Fuck that shit. Well, they got us one time. They stuck up on us, and they got us. And my partner had just threw the shit, so they never found the shit. But they hog-tied us and put us in the back of the car, and they turned it. And we're sitting in front of the store, and we're in the back seat, and we're hog-tied, and they're looking at us from the front, and they turn the fucking heater on. Oh, yes. They didn't take us to jail. They turned the fucking heater on, and they looking at us. We're in that bitch dying. Bro, I swear I was like 160 pounds. Bro, I swear I lost 10 pounds. It's July. It's the summertime, which is why we shouldn't have been there. And it was a place that we had put on fire, right? I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just fucking telling you the truth. That's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you the truth. Always record future interactions with effing popos. Yeah. That's true too. I'm for that too. And they put us in the car and they fucking turned the heater on and was looking at us, laughing and shit, drinking soda. Oh, no. He went and got a knee high. Y'all don't remember this shit. You're probably too young. We used to drink knee highs in the hood, like peach and fucking grape. These motherfuckers, these are 2 white cops. His name was 74 and his partner was a white redhead lady. They went inside the store and they came out with peach and grape knee highs. This is so fucking racist. They were being so fucked up. I'm not saying they don't have capacity, bro. I'm not saying they have capacity. I'm literally telling you we were selling dope. We put that bitch on fire. Yes, we set Justine on fire. I'm just telling you the truth, right? And I stopped. I was a really big time athlete, so I fucking was like, okay, I'm gonna go to jail. Everybody went to jail that summer. Everybody went to jail that summer. So I just like, all right, this is God trying to tell me I had a lot, and so so they put us in the car, they fucking turned the heater on. It's fucking 100 degrees in that bitch. It's already 98 degrees outside. They put the heater on. We in that bitch, we can't breathe. Bro, I thought it was torture. And they went inside the store and they got some fucking peach and grape knee highs, and they went in front of the car and was looking at us laughing, drinking the fucking knee highs. We ended up probably 30, 40 minutes, and then they let us out. They didn't find no dope. They were searching for the dope. They ain't found no dope. So they couldn't do nothing that day. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying. But what am I this is me being self-aware now. For a long time I was mad about that shit. Oh, I'm gonna tell you another thing. They used to do. They motherfucking when they would catch us, I got caught like maybe 8 or 9 times out of the hundreds. And they would catch you. Sometimes they would just swarm the block, right? And they would, you get trapped and shit. You don't want to. So you just give up. I'm gonna tell you what they used to do. They used to slam us against the car, all that bullshit, and they would search you. And while they're searching you, I don't know how to say this without they would pull your penis hairs out and dare you to move. They already got you under I'm good, just don't I got you. I understand. So they would search us, and look, we ain't gonna never win. That's stupid. But they would search us, and then they would be like, one cop would be drawn on us, and it's really hard. But I remember one time they would pull our hairs out of our private part, and I remember bringing tears to my eyes, but I couldn't move because I knew if they moved, they would try to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying they don't have fucked up shit. I'm saying don't let nobody trick you out of your heartbeat. You understand the message? I'm saying I wouldn't have been there had I not been preemptively doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yes, exactly. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not saying I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying you got to be smarter than that. And the whole thing was around, we were selling dope in this fucking neighborhood, motherfucker. That's where all the crackheads used to come. We put that bitch on fire. And that was my last summer. I was like, man, fuck this shit. Thank the Lord. I made it out. I'm an athlete. My big homies used to come in and get me. I might introduce y'all to him one time. He used to come in and get me. Like, no, you got me fucked up. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be to y'all what I had. The big homies now, you niggas is trying to be kids. You're fucking scared of them. You're not telling them right from wrong. My big homies to come through there and literally get me and be like, no, bro, you getting the fuck up out of here. Right? Because I was literally our point guard and I play football. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, no, you can get out of here. Our big homies used to try to protect us from this shit. You motherfuckers are listening to the same music. You're dressing like the fucking kids. You're being immature like the kids. This is why they don't respect us. This is exactly why they don't respect us, bro. And so I'm calling you out, and you look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, motherfucker, we have had generations worth of big homies. What the fuck you talking about? This is what the fuck he's supposed to be doing, right? I'm tell you, I've been there, bro, and I had to turn my shit around, and I now know that I am the center of all my problems. When I have a problem, I look at me. I don't look at them. You have a problem, you're looking at them. You're looking at everybody but you. I shouldn't have fucking been there. This is what an adult does. I was fucking there doing bad, and I got what I got, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's what the world is. Our entire culture, we have a lot of shit. We're brilliant. We come out, like we have all these talents and everything, and the one thing we don't have is fucking accountability. You're not gonna win without accountability. I got you, bro. I know you're talking about, though. You are not gonna win without being self-aware and being accountable. This is me saying, hey, bro, that was my bullshit. I wasn't supposed to be there. That makes sense, right? And then what is that? Where are our leaders saying that? Where are our leaders telling African Americans, get your ass up early? What the fuck you doing? There's 30 books that you're not supposed to read. You got to do all this shit. Get up early. You need 2 hours in the day. You need to do this. Why don't you go to work? Why don't you be a good teammate? Have a fucking better attitude instead of driving to work, listening to fucking drill music, and then getting into it with everybody there. Why don't you just do better? You're going to get into leadership, figure out the game, and figure out how to monetize that shit on the outside. That's what a fucking leader's supposed to do. Right? Ain't nobody judging. Ain't nobody saying, he did. Motherfucker, I live that life. You ain't telling me shit. I'm famous in my goddamn city. I am telling you, we're not doing our best. We're not giving ourselves and our culture and then America our best. Especially black men. We're operating on 15% bandwidth. We're not giving our best. And we're doing it now because we don't feel like we're wanted, but we don't feel like we're wanted because we're not doing our best. You see that? It's like a fucking toxic cycle. And I broke this shit. This is why my shit resonates. And then I was like, bro, I was heading down that same bullshit. And I broke it. I almost ruined every single opportunity up into even in the military. I was in they put me in anger management in the military. I was almost on the way out. And that was my like, okay, hold up, dog. Hold the fuck up. It's you. It's your bullshit. Bro, I fucking took off. And this same motherfucker, they gave me a top secret clearance. They put me in charge of the fucking, that's part of what helped me. This is during the time that I got on the square. Part of what helped me. Now, he's talking about Prince Hall Mason. All right, so I'm a Prince Hall Mason. Don't y'all freak. I don't never say that because y'all be freaking out. Y'all be hearing all this shit on TV. It's a fucking fraternity, bro. Masonry is a fraternity. It's actually the very first fraternity. Don't do what's expected. That's right. That's exactly right. Good job. Good one, bro. So I became a Mason in the Army. Military Masonry is a big deal. All right. Yes, exactly. So I'm going to tell you why I joined Masonry. They recruit you, but you have to be seeking. All right, so watch this. So it's called Prince Hall Masonry. So I'm from the hood. We are combative with each other. Y'all know how it is. Stop. We got company here. We got family here, but I don't fucking care. Because poor white people know I tell them about them too. Y'all got some shit going on. Fucking doing all them cigarettes and all that talking, cussing and worrying about black people. You got a lot of shit you need to be working on. You ain't got to worry about us. We're over here trying to get our shit together. Y'all got a lot of bullshit to work on too. But the majority of us here are African Americans, but most of us are all first generation. So we just talk about our shit. They have poverty, white poverty is rural, black poverty is concentrated. One of the things that we do is we size each other up. I live in a world where when at first contact, me and you will size each other up. I was in the military where 70% of the leadership is black. This is why when you bring your monkey ass here and talking about white man's army, bitch, we run the army. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? We run the whole military. My whole career, 70% of us was black. And everybody who's in the military will tell you that. Anybody who's in the military will tell you most of the leadership black because they're all athletes. And all athletes run the fucking military. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. So all right. So damn, what was I saying? Oh, you made me mess up. Made me mess up what I was saying. Oh, so okay. So I came. So then I took off, and then I got a top secret clearance. I'm running operations all over the globe. I got to keep getting asked. Some of my kids are in here. Asked to and then I took over the largest unit in the history of the Army, 2,500 soldiers in a company size elements. Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm so the Masons they kind of run the Army. It's the biggest frat. You know, we got all the alphas and the Qs and all that, but the Masons is the biggest fraternity. And watch this: Prince Hall Masons are black and white. Right. All right. So it was the first time that I saw black men loving each other. It's fucking crazy, bro. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I know this is crazy for y'all. I know some of y'all are like, what are you talking about? Because I'm telling you, most of my conservative homeboys, this is something, I need you black men to hear this. I need y'all to fucking hear this. I got a lot of white homeboys that run businesses, and we're all like first generation. Most of us, almost all of us in the blue collar. Do you know how conservatives say bye in person or on the phone? See, y'all don't know this. They say, love you, bro. White men literally say, I love you, bro. That's how they say goodbye. I'm telling you, it's just weird. It's weird to us because we'd be like, now our version of that, like, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, fuck you. But like we mean the same thing, but we just won't say the actual, we actually love each other. We just won't say the shit. I'm telling you, I have this experience where most of my homeboys, love you, bro. Love you, bro. yeah. I'm telling you, that's not who we do. We actually mean that, but we're too proud to even say it to each other. Most people are hearing that for the first time, and you're like, what? Most of my white homeboys that you guys would call rednecks, they got country accents. They're from the South, but my friends, my tribe is like the business ownership community. They say, love you, bro. They say that shit and hug, and they fucking, or when you're on the phone. When you're on the phone, they say the shit. I'm telling you, bro, it's the fucking craziest thing ever. And I've had to tell them that before. Like, y'all know, like the only place in our community I felt that is in masonry. This is how we talk to each other in masonry. So I joined the fraternity, the fraternity, and they don't even like to call it fraternity, but I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, this is a fraternity. It's actually the very first one. All of your fucking fraternities took the playbook from masonry, and that's how you built your fraternity. That makes sense? All right. So King Solomon's Temple, the whole nine. But then the media, like right now, Candace Owens is talking about like Masons, Freemasons. Y'all be taking shit too far. I'm like, it's just a fraternity. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, shut the hell up, bro. It's just a fraternity. All right. And so for me, as a young black man, I was lured or attracted to, like, why are they? This was odd to me because I had just came from the hood, and we'll rob each other. We do all kind of shit. And I'm looking at these black men that have all like, they're acting different towards each other. Look, every other fraternity does it too. You ever seen the fuck? I'm light skinned. If I had joined the fraternity I was going to join in college, you know what I would have been? A fucking Kappa. Racist motherfuckers. You got to be a light skin to be a Kappa, I guess. I don't know. You got to be dark skinned to be a Q. You see how that? I don't know, whatever. But I'm just being real. If you look at Qs and Kappas amongst each other, they show each other love. They're among the elite in our culture. I just wish they would be more politically and business involved. But they're among the elite. They've gotten over the toxicity of us not being able to work together. We don't work together as a culture because we come from these poverty-stricken initiatives. And we look at white men. This is what I had to stop saying. We look at white men who work together. In the animal kingdom, that's very natural for white men to work together. And we call that what? White supremacy. I'm like, hold, time out. First, it's really hard to say that in my presence when I've beat everybody's ass. So I beat everybody. In direct competition, me and you're going to lose. I'm just not even being ugly. We talked about this last night. I can't even talk how I want to talk because y'all be looking at shit. I'm just telling you, my fucking record shows so. So you can't come around me saying white supremacy because you have to show me in my life how anybody beat me relative to something that I want to do. All right. And then two, those are my friends. And I'm like, that's very fucking normal. It's actually what you're calling white supremacy from the outside is white men who actually, now, do you know who, this is ugly, but I'm just telling you the truth. White men that are in business that have done well for themselves and that trust each other don't trust poor white people. Poor white people act like we act to each other. They're always trying to get over. They're always trying to file a claim. They're always trying to do some kind of scheme or scam or fraud. Yes, bro. Poor white people got it bad right now. That community is being decimated. They're losing 3 times the amount of people we're losing. Listen to me. She's in one of those towns. So the shit that we look at and we call white supremacy, which you're acknowledging that you're less than. You're literally saying they're better than me. Someone is supreme to me. So they should, in high school, when we beat everybody's ass in sports, they should be like, look at this black supremacy. I'm just giving you, I'm pushing back on a narrative that has been your get out of jail free card because you ain't did what you're supposed to do. You don't know what you're supposed to know. You haven't finished school. You haven't finished you don't have any certificates. You don't have any training. You have very little experience and you have really bad habits. But if I check you on that and you're like, yeah, but what about white supremacy? You see? So I'm removing that as your excuse so that you can fucking get better. Because if you just applied yourself relative to what you were born with, you'd win. You're not applying yourself. They ain't gonna do with white supremacy. They ain't fucking trying to get their shit. They don't even deal with poor white people. And I hate that, but I'm just telling you the truth. All right. So This thing that you see, where you see white men kind of locking arms to do a business together, for centuries in the animal kingdom, that's very normal. Your shitty ass leaders from these shitty ass colleges labeled it white supremacy. Was there a time when they locked us out? Yeah, they locked them out too. Only 10% of people in America ever owned slaves. The rest of these poor white people came here as slaves. Do you understand that? I did that class like 2 weeks ago. They came from America, from UK as slaves and then indentured servants. And then the aristocrats sent what they call second sons. So this is how cold it is in some of our white brothers and sisters' families. Listen to me. I'm just trying to tell you that this is the thing got to do with me. A family in aristocrats, which is now the mindset of the Democrats, they used to govern over poor white people. So this is why white liberals think they're better than white Republicans. Bro, this ain't got nothing to do with us. We've been drug into a fucking centuries old debate between the aristocrats and the commoners from the UK. So prior to 1775, because in 1775, America stopped taking white slaves and white indentured servants, because that's when we started the war. And they had to send them to what? Australia, which is why if you Google Australia right now and you look at those people, they look like white Southerners. They're the same people. They are the lineage of the descendants of the same white poor people that came here, and they're typically in the South. And there is a strand of it that has been ugly, but you have more in common with them, bro, than you do aristocrats. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, all right? So a white family in the UK would have 4 or 5 kids. The first son would be in charge of the family and whatever lineage and whatever riches he had. If the first son wasn't cut out, meaning if he wasn't tall, good looking, smart, and in charge, they would make him the second son. Listen to me. But normally the first son was groomed to take over, and they would send their second son. They would send their second son to America. And the country was built off the descendants of the second sons. Those are the aristocrats. That's the ruling class in America. You have been told that you're a descendant of a slave. And there was wars in Africa. And when I'm Igbo, most of y'all are just dark. You ain't even fucking African. You haven't even done no research on who the fuck you are. I'm Igbo and Spanish directly from the Basque country in Spain. I'm Igbo and that. A lot of y'all were already here, or you're indigenous to Latin America. You did not come from Africa. Don't worry about me. You need to do your own research. You ain't got no kind of blood work, no kind of paperwork. A lot of y'all are dark skinned, and your ass has been here forever. You are not even African American. And here I am. I can show you my blood work. I can show you everything. I'm actually Igbo and from the Igbo tribe who used to launch and win a lot of these wars. And yeah, a lot of y'all just black. You just dark. You motherfuckers ain't even black. That's why y'all be looking at me some kind of way. I'm like, bitch, you ain't even black. Your ass just dark. Your ass is from here. Your ass was here before that, right? My grandfather's black and Blackfoot Indian. You ever seen the Blackfoot Indians? They look like a lot of y'all. Especially you motherfuckers with good hair. You motherfuckers are not African. You motherfuckers are Indians. You're indigenous. Your ass has been here for centuries. This whole thing is a ruse, bro. This whole fucking thing is a ruse. I just said something else. Y'all gotta go study it, and no one's debunked anything I've said the last 2-3 months. A lot of y'all are not black or ADOS, which is whatever, American Descendants of Slavery. You're not that. You were already here. They were people already here when America started sending slaves here. And then so you would go to prison. They would give you 7 to 14 years, and they would send you to America to go farm the lands. This is what white people. All right, I'm just telling you. So you're letting a population of descendants of slaves talk down to you because you're a population of descendants of slaves. But worse off, you're letting people whose grandma has a foreign accent tell you this isn't your country. I need you to understand that. There are people in this country that are white passing. I'm glad you said it. Your ass got to go now. I'm so fucking glad you said it. Thank you. There are people in this country whose grandmothers have a foreign accent, which means they are immigrants. And they're telling you they have been lied to, and you don't have the confidence. And now you think this ain't your country. It's why I do this. Motherfucker, we've been here for hundreds of years. You got me fucked up. But because you don't have the right mindset, you haven't taken full responsibility of this ownership and the citizenship of America. I'm trying to tell you, man. You guys are our counterparts, our white counterparts are descendants of slaves, white slaves. When they would get put in prison, they would be sent to America in 7 to 14 years. That was the charge. That was the thing. They would get 7 to 14 years of hard labor in America. That was the slave class in the UK. And then they stopped in 1775. Go do your own research. They were doing that all the way up to 1775. We are mutts. Yeah. Yeah. You never watched that fucking episode when Joe Rogan did his 23andMe? He was like, I'm 2% black. Yes, I knew it. He was like, I'm African. I knew it. Joe Rogan. Most of y'all, now you gotta be careful because that's the LDS. The LDS owns that shit. But most people, white people, if you did your fucking genome, you would figure out you're part African. Fucking stop. Please finish I already finished that shit. I already finished it. We're done with that. We're done with that. All right. So now we're establishing why you should be, and the reason, this is why. Now, if I tell you that story, that you have just as good opportunities as anybody else if we will work together, if we just work together, right? And now you understand that now you'll start doing better at work. You'll start showing up early. You'll start intellectualizing your discipline. And then you have to look at your leaders now like, who the fuck have I been listening to? Right? This is my country, right? This is my country. And it's also why 70% or almost 70% of the what is it? The waist up, my brother. From the waist up, my brother. Yeah, y'all doing the black and white shit. I look at both of y'all like fucking chimps. I look at y'all like, you know that evolutionary chart? And there's like that first motherfucker that stood up. Like we were all the way over here. And then the way y'all acting is like the fucking first motherfucker that's kind of still humpback and like fucking stood up. That's how y'all are acting. Like fucking chimps. Nobody has done any, what's up, bro? No one has done any research. What about last night's class? He's in my program. What about last night's class? You missed some good shit today. We haven't done any fucking research on anything here. Literally anything. We let these women from these fucking shitty universities come tell us that 1619 was the beginning of slavery. You haven't even, I was like, okay. The ship landed in Jamestown and all y'all ate that shit and you ran and did all your DEI bullshit. Yes, we're gonna talk about that too, because you were 8th on that list. Yes, I was screaming about DEI the whole time. Like, why y'all doing this? They're ruining your avatar. They're ruining your face, the way you look in this country, and you were 8th on the list. You didn't even get none out of it. So you got these shitty ass professors telling you 1619. She's famous for that shit. She got tenure because of that shit. And no one thought to ask, okay, well, where did the ship come from? I fucking finished the Greenland. We're done with that. Why you keep asking that question? I've already did it. We're done with that. There's nothing else to talk about Greenland. I finished it. If you left and came back, I'm sorry, but there's nothing else to say. If you have a question about Greenland, ask the Greenland. I already said the shit. I said, let me put a button on it because he's going to keep interrupting in the live stream until I do what he says. I'm 100%. I'm 100% that we should have occupied Greenland, but they'd have a deed to it. It would set a terrible precedent if we took it. And because of the potential threat, but what is the difference? What's the difference of what we're doing and what Russia's doing? Because Russia has been telling us since Clinton, don't fucking come on my border. When Kamala went to the UN 2 days, and she went to the UN and said, we're going to fast track Ukraine into the UN, 2 days later, he crossed the border. So I'm actually done with that. I've actually told that story. We're done with that. And I said, I'm 100% of us occupying it for strategic. I spent 20 years in the military. I know what that's supposed to look like. And Trump's a fucking a-hole for writing those people a letter and saying, well, because you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't have to be peaceful anymore. I can just take your shit. No. You're our representative. You can't fucking do that. So this answer I gave you, I think I said I was done because I don't think you like the answer. This answer is both in support of occupying Greenland and not in support of taking it. Does that make sense? So that shit falls on the left and the right. And because you guys are just strategically, specifically Democrats or Republicans, you can't tolerate anybody giving you an answer from the middle. I'm just like, no, I'm not okay with that. We are going to occupy it, and we better, because we're going to get our ass kicked, right? Now, it's kind of funny. What is it? Though, bro said, yeah, we better occupy it or we're going to get our ass kicked. Just like when y'all left the border open and 10 million people are here now. That's why I did that piece of content on sleeper cells. Like, y'all, you don't have any idea. Oh, okay. I just did that, though. So now I'm actually finished with that. We have moved on, but I'm actually finished with that. We were addressing 1619, and where I was telling you, why don't y'all, we did all this shit. We did all this grandstanding, all this yelling about 1619. None of y'all asked, where did the fucking ship come from? Where'd the fucking ship come from? Right? And all you had to do was trace that ship. That ship wasn't even coming to America. That ship was heading where? To Latin America, because for hundreds of years before, we had already had a northern triangle, and where they were getting products and tactiles from Latin America. The Dutch were funding it, and the Latin Americans, I'm sorry, the Spaniards were the conquistadors. I'm going to show you a picture of, I am a direct descendant of Juan de Garay. My last name is de Garay, and I'm going to show you who that is and show you how I've been able, reason why I am the way I am, because I've been able to piece my own history from my two parts of my lineage. And I need you to tell that story to yourself, because you're relying on other people's story. That fucking ship was one of thousands of ships that were going to Latin America already for hundreds of years. And some fucking pirates interdicted that ship. So this whole 1619 thing is bullshit, because it started in Africa, in where more than likely my people, and I don't want to, that's mean, but the Igbo, just go look who the Igbo, they won all the fucking wars. And oh, by the way, there are rainforests in Africa. I don't know if y'all know that, but there are rainforests where the Igbo tribe comes from, and where people that look, y'all have seen pictures, you didn't do no research, and where they're not people of the sun. So we call Africans people of the sun, which is why most of us are dark skinned. But there are rainforests in Nigeria, which is where Igbo come from, and where we're not in the sun all day. And there are people, there are whole tribes of Igbo that are light skinned, and some of them actually even have light eyes, and they're Africans. This whole shit's a ruse. This whole fucking shit's a ruse, right? All right. So for hundreds of years, they had been taking people. Basically, if you lost a war in Africa, the African tribal leaders would take you and trade you, which is what every country did for 10,000 years. The spoils of war, they would take your land and take your wives, and they would sell you into slavery. So they were property that they sold into slavery. Some pirates interdicted that ship and jumped on the ship and rerouted the shit to Jamestown. So we are giving 100% of the responsibility for the ugly shit that happened when we got here. And we're not talking about the whole thing. This shit had been going on. And yes, Africans were doing the shit, because everybody was doing the shit. Don't nobody, well, there wasn't a scenario in where, now this happened. It didn't happen after that. Once the Africans started seeking independence, but didn't work together, it allowed European countries to come down there and conquer them. There's a lesson there, right? I'm saying during that trade, I want you to tell me what the name of the triangle was before they called it transatlantic slave trade, because there was a triangle there for hundreds of years. Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And you're still going by their stories. I'm saying there's other actual research that you could do that would allow you to understand that no, everybody see what it is. And a lot of people don't know, because we specifically have this slavery thing has holding us back. We don't tell the truth about it. We act like we own it. Like no one could talk to us about it. We can't even say the word, and it's really it's hurtful. And I let that shit go, because when I started traveling the world, I realized, oh shit, everybody was slaves. I tell a story about when I went to Korea, and I went to this thing called a Korean American Friendship Society. So this is one Juan de Garay. He is a conquistador. Yes, that's Juan de Garay. And look at your big head boy. Look at your fucking nappy head boy. All right. My last name's Garay. His last name's Garay. He is the founder of Buenos Aires, Argentina. I am a direct bloodline descendant of Juan de Garay, who was a Spanish conquistador in the 14 and 1500s. In the 14 and 1500s. This shit had been going on, bro. Where'd you go, girl? Yes. And if you trace, so it gives me, I learned this in my 20s. So it gives me a lot of power to understand that the conquistadors from Basque country, you know what Basque country are? They were amazing warriors, and they were amazing entrepreneurs. They were small, and they had advanced tools and knowledge, and they beat everybody around, and nobody fucked with them. Go Google Basque country in Spain. Well, guess what? The Moors landed and ruled Spain for 800 years. And guess what? I am also Igbo. Igbo are amazing warriors and entrepreneurs. I'm telling you, finding out who I was helped shape what I do. And because you're lost, you're a kid right here in America, you've been cut off, but you now have the tools to find out who you are. You are but one link in this amazing chain, and you're fucking it up. You got here, which was a 400 trillion to 1 odds of you swimming against the birth canal, and you won, and you got here. And now, yes, I feel like you're right. And I feel like it's in yours and you're letting your fucking people down. You're letting your culture down. You're letting your lineage down. And it should have, no, I'm not being mean. It should have been somebody else because somebody else would probably be doing better with that fucking genome. Does that make sense? I'm saying something, this is controversial and I don't like saying this because I love my white people too. Ain't nobody born like us, bro. See, they start talking eugenics and sometimes it hurts our feelings. But I'm telling you, okay, at birth, fucking, we come out with 6-packs and fucking shoulder muscles running at 4'2". Get the fuck out of here. And then our culture robs us of all that shit. Our culture, we start getting introduced to like hip hop, gangster music, bullshit. I'm just, bro. What do you say? Wife make fun of me, my family. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who is this? Oh, this G. Okay, what's up, boy? Yes. Now, this is the one part people don't want to hear. So I traveled the world. I figured out everybody was slaves. The word slave comes from the former Yugoslavia. This is the one thing y'all don't want to hear. The white slaves in Louisiana used to try to get the black slaves, white slave owners in Louisiana, used to try to get the black slave owners arrested because of how brutal they were to their. See, I don't want to hear that. Go look at the black slave owners in Louisiana. They were among the most brutal slave owners in this country. I am not saying none of this shit's okay what they did. None of this shit's okay what they did. Slavic, yeah. I'm saying everybody's had their chance to be a slave. Everybody. No one's fought more wars than Europeans against themselves. And when there's a winner, there's a loser, right? It is what it is. The very definition of the word slave comes from Slavics, which are like the Slavics, that whole region in Eastern Europe. Yugoslavia, the former fifth largest army in the world. I went there and they were nothing. They were a former shell of themselves. The men had bloodshot eyes and no confidence. This is what's happening to our men, right? And that reason we have a word called slavery, it comes from them. They were slaves for thousands and thousands of years. We got. And you're now the system has figured out to perpetuate slavery in a different manner through propaganda. And so now you're an economic slave and you're talking about slavery. We haven't had as many, we probably have 130 million slaves in America now, when we used to have 10. You're an economic slave and you can't break out of that Gucci belt, bullshit rims. Yes, see, that's how they got you now. And like I said, they can control your mind. They don't have to worry about your actions. So you're talking about slavery as if it's over, and your entire lifestyle perpetuates that lifestyle. We're going to beat you down with this bullshit imagery that comes from your music, and then we're going to sell you the shit to make you feel good, which is consumerism. Your entire life is dominated by people. They just know they don't have to beat you and all that kind of shit right now, but they still control your life because there's no freedom to be had. Does that make sense? All right. So what we're trying to do is deconstruct some of that shit. You're saying we're breaking generational curses while perpetuating them. Some of y'all was in the club drunk as fuck, 2:00 in the morning on New Year's, talking about, yeah, I'm New Year, new me. No, motherfucker. New Year, same old you. And we have to do this if we're going to talk about business. We can't just do one. We have to do both if we're going to have a actual, decent, open, honest conversation about business. Because you come to it with all your bullshit. Me too, bro. Me too. Who the fuck comes on here and admit they used to sell dope? Nobody don't know that shit except for y'all motherfuckers now. I mean, everybody who know me know. That's a part of it, bro. I had to grow the fuck up. And now, every time I see that you hear me talk about something that's going wrong in my life, I'm trying. Now that you hear me, guess what? This is what Iraq does to you. You know how you get high? Let me tell you about Iraq. You might not know this. You know how people get high? And when you get high, you solve all the world's problems? You know how people get high and then you start serving all the world's problems? This is how Iraq is. Boy, you go to Iraq, we have a long time. We have a lot of time there. Let me show you how. Like, people act like we just over there. Okay. Hey, man, this is what it is. I was in the 80s. What the fuck we did, right? I used to get them George too. I used to fuck with that shit. Hey, man, I got to go re-up, man. Fucking Jay's popping out. All that shit, man. It is what it is, bro. It's the same hustle. Now, I actually had a real big candy operation in elementary school. I've been hustling. And I just learned business. I'm like, oh, shit, bro. This is why. Like, you ever seen like a former D-boy that get in business and he pops an actual, I don't hate to say this shit, an actual really good drug dealer understands material, labor, and overhead. You know what he understands more? Because he can get kidnapped. Y'all know we do this shit. Stop. Don't fucking start. He understands customer relations. Why you think you my mentor? A good D-boy understands customer relations. He maintains his spot as the plug so as to not get triangulated on. He understands what? Dark psychology. See, this is why you got people in your life that used to be D-boys and now they became good business owners. Case in point. Yes. You're fucking it up. I just need to give you a new hustle. I need to give you a new hustle, right? Yes. Yes, bro. Yes. And this is why you're talking about the wrong thing. You're still studying that music. You're still doing all that bullshit. And over here, we've just changed the conversation. You motherfuckers that have a high risk for tolerance, you're gonna win. I have to almost deprogram career executives. They have a low tolerance for risk. In a corporation, your job is to reduce risk, which is why we have this new generation of men that I call HR ladies. They don't like discussion. They don't like freedom. They walk around policing shit that they don't agree with. I'm like, bro, even our women are killers. Our women are tired of the shit. You've replaced them. That's why I say you got to stop telling dudes they act feminine. There's another word we need. That's disrespectful to women. All the women in my program are killers. You can't say that. These are women. Those women are killers. They looking at this is why they single too. Because of motherfuckers like that. You're walking around here like an old ass HR lady. You are risk intolerant. You're just so comfortable. You only want to hear what you want to hear. And you have to address that because in business, all the shit ain't gonna agree with you. I get up every day and look in the mirror and say, fuck you. Something's about to punch you in the face. Right? And then watch this. This is what a leader does. It's your fault, Daniel. It's your fault, Isaiah. It's your fault, Trill. You know why? Because a leader says two things every time there's a problem. It's my fault because I either did it or I allowed it to happen. You hired the motherfucker who made the mistake and you didn't train them for this particular scenario. So that falls back on what? Leadership. Daniel, you're new. I'm just playing with you, bro. Relax. All right. You need to screen this right here. It's a $10. I got a CEO school where I teach everything you need to know about being a CEO because most people just don't. It's $10 a month. It's on subscription. We drop nukes. Isaiah, tell them what happened last night. Tell them what happened last night, Isaiah. Every Tuesday I teach live and there's just a lot of shit we need to know. We're doing finance right now. We're doing money and finance right now. We start real estate in a couple of weeks. You got to come get the finance data because you're going to be the one with the most questions come from real estate because you ain't going to understand how I teach it to you. I flip hundreds and hundreds of homes. All right. You got to get your ass in there. Get your ass in there. Yes. It's $10 a month. I expect 25 or 30 of y'all to sign up for that shit today. You're going to get put into a private Telegram. Once you get into the private Telegram, I just lowered the price. It was $45. It's $10 now. So all my people have had to quit and come back in at $10. I lowered the price to bring everybody in there. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. So now it's 8 hours ahead. It don't matter. I got a girl. Okay, good for you. I got a girl I got a girl. She's probably here. She's in Spain. What happened? Last night? All right. So well, I'm just saying I lowered the price last night. So everybody can do it now. $45 was a threshold that people couldn't afford. And so $10, everybody. I expect every day 25, 30 people can show up. So we're growing the next generation of entrepreneurs. We went over some shit last night. Yeah. Spent the 10 and get it. What? Instagram on my top page. Yeah. On the top page, spend the okay, you got it on that too? Yeah. So this is if you do this right here, if you the QR code, it takes you right to it. That's why I built that. Do the QR code, it takes you right to it. It's a private Telegram. You're gonna pay, and then the bot is gonna take you over the next hour or so and put you into the Telegram, and then you're gonna start seeing posts from then. Once we fill up, every 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna drop the initial information in there because we have like a syllabus, and I teach you about everything we're talking about, and I'm gonna drop that other Zoom. We just did we broke down this podcast last night that really shocked, it blew everybody away, right? And because it kind of supported what I've been telling them. So yeah, that's right. Do yours for recruiting. I'll make yours for free. Everybody send me 10 people today. Send this fucking thing to them. Screenshot that and send it to them. And oh yeah, my girl, Shanika. So my girl, my bad. I got Rumble over here. I got a girl in Portugal right now. So somebody's saying they're in Kuwait. I was in Kuwait. No, I teach them live. I was in Kuwait. I did a mission out of Kuwait. All right, watch this. Do you know where that Chili's is? The Chili's in Kuwait, is it still there? Is that Chili's in? Okay, you're Arif John? Okay, Arif John, all right, let me tell you this motherfucker. He chilling. I'm finna tell on your ass now. They got a pool. They be doing pool parties and shit. So he in Kuwait. So I was in Iraq. When you go to Iraq, you go to camp, you go to Kuwait first. And you go to, yeah, he's laughing because he fucking know. He knows. You know, y'all fucking chilling, bro. Y'all chilling like a motherfucker, man. So they got a pool. They be doing pool parties and shit. When I came out of Iraq, you go to Iraq, you come there because you can go to like Qatar for like R&R. But when you go to the other bullshit bureauing, we were at, oh, you're a contractor. Okay, I got you, bro. Okay. All right, you get it. Well, there are active duty people that are stationed there. When I went to that motherfucker, salsa night, yeah, who the fuck is this? Who is that? Who the fuck is that? Jose, are you in my program? You need to get my program, bro. All right, they be doing salsa night. They in Kuwait, but they're in a nice part of Kuwait. I ran some missions out of Kuwait. All right, you know where that Chili's is downtown? So I was downtown. But Arifjan is cool, but we got what's that shit called? What's the base called? I think it started with a B. Buring. Camp Buring is where you go and they muscle up and you go into Iraq. Okay, all right. So so there's a part of Kuwait where you muster and you get trained and you zero your weapons and you get ready to fly into Iraq. You fly directly into Iraq from Kuwait. And then there's, you know how people be like, come to my page, they be like, I want to be on this side of TikTok. And then there's his side of Kuwait. The motherfuckers, I went there, bro. We went there on a mission too. I went there, it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. Bro. I went to the pool. There was a fucking DJ and there might have been 200 girls. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? People walking around with their families. Y'all be fucking bringing your wives and shit to Arifjan. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying if y'all don't be bringing your wives over there. Tell me, I'll tell you right now, watch this. They be fucking PCS in there with their family and shit. Get kids in school. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Where are we? It's like a whole different world, bro. See? It's a whole different world. So you're there in Kuwait. Thanks for your service, man. He's a civilian, but you probably were ex-military. But yeah, so anyway, so you launch into Iraq or Afghanistan from Kuwait. You muster, you get your unit together, you zero, you get your weapons, and you launch. You fly right, KBR, yep, Kellogg, Brown and Root. You fly right into Iraq. I'm telling you, when you go into the Kuwait, okay, got you, bro. He over there getting paid too. Get your ass in this program. He's fucking he's probably making $200,000 a year. He's a fucking retired military. I'm telling you, all my boys went over there, became millionaires. He retired Air Force, and he's a contractor in Kuwait. This fucking guy, thanks for your service, but we're on the same team now. I'm gonna gut your ass out. He's probably a million. He's probably worth about 1.2 million right now. I'm telling you, them boys go over there, they take them $200,000 jobs, and that shit be tax free because they're in a fucking war zone. Oh yes, you get into the paper, and I don't know what color you are. I don't give a fuck, but I'm having to tell you, we got a lot of African American men in here. They follow me because they're trying to get their shit together, and we got black men telling you don't join the military. Are you fucking? What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? No, your ass should be in the military so you can travel the world in a meaningful capacity, so you can learn how other customs and cultures, and you get to know how to deal with other people, the real fucking world, right? And then, you go through the military and you retire from the military. You have medical. Watch this. Everybody, my whole family is taken care of. I paid $500 one time in January. We have free fucking what do you call that shit? Medical benefits the rest of the year. I also have VA. I probably pulled down about close to $7,000 a month. This is just a military retirement. So close to $7,000 a month I pulled down, which really knocks everything out for me. So all my business shit is just, yes, I did that in the fucking military. Get your ass in the military. Your ass needs to be in the military. You need to stop listening to these shitty ass people that they're just race based. All they can fucking see and hear about is fucking race. And when you get in there, your job should be to bust your ass so you're in charge. You don't have to deal with that shit. Does that make sense? All right, let's go. Yes, that's one of my plays for young men. You need to get your ass in the military. My son could do anything he wanted to. He is a private in the 82nd Airborne right now. 18 years old. He made that choice. He didn't want to just rush to school. My daughter's in one of the top 10 universities in the country. He could have went anywhere he wanted. He told me when we were dropping my daughter off last year, Dad, I want to travel the world and see the world for what it is, not what these people tell me it is. He actually likes my story. And so he joined himself. I make sure I didn't say it because I don't know what comes with that shit. All this shit going on, it could be my son, bro. But he chose it. Okay, I'm going to tell you about that. All right. Oh, Prof trying to move. Prof trying to take his ass over there. All right, so my son joined. A week after graduation, he went. Basic training, all that. He went to airborne school. He's 18 years old, jumping out of airplanes. He told me that whole story. Now he's in the 82nd Airborne, the most rapid deployment unit in the whole world, and he's fucking running hills and mountains and shit at 35 degrees in the morning. All right. Yes. So you don't know my story, but I'll tell you my story later. I was in my story. Everybody knows my story is pretty famous. I actually became a real estate investor while I was in the Army, and then I became a general contractor, and I was flipping houses and shit. And I got a government contract building Army housing at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. One of the kids in here he's in my program. I flipped like hundreds of houses. I did a lot of. I was on the investigation my 19th year because I bought like a little mansion over there. I started having brand new Corvettes and Range Rovers, and I was in the military, so they was like, "What the fuck?" They were like, "What?" Okay, they were like, "What the fuck?" And I had a top secret clearance, so they investigated my ass. They tried to kick me out of the military in the 19th year, which is also why I didn't go to my retirement ceremony. But I was wrong for that. I was kind of sour how I had gave the military everything, and then I was like, "This is fucked up." But it wasn't the military; it's the people around you. See, they were hating on me because they couldn't do it. And then when I beat the charge, so I was on investigation and all that shit, and I beat the charge because I had all my ducks in a row. And then they tried to make me the poster boy. They wanted me to do. I was like, "Nah, fuck y'all. This is why soldiers get out of the military. It's you motherfuckers why the reason why soldiers get out of the military right here." Oh, you're at 19? Okay. Yeah, they tried to investigate me, man. Keep that shit quiet. Keep it quiet. But when you first get money, like I grew up, when you first get money, you like trying to put other people on and your shit got around. I had a roofing company. All right, watch this. So me and my son, I wish I had that picture. I might have that picture. I had a roofing company. You can Google my roofing company right now, Roof Corp, Oklahoma. One of my things on my personal Facebook page, this was 2013. Me and my son were on a roof. I'm going to tell y'all this story. This is such a fucking funny story. So I had a roofing company. I'm a real estate investor. I wasn't making any money. And then I became a general contractor and I couldn't stop making money. You have to control the remodel budget. I'm teaching y'all that next month. You have to control it. You don't understand real estate, right? All right. So got you. Okay. So I had a roofing company, and part of it is me starting to see people before and afters of my roofs, right? So one of them, I had my son. He's 18 now. So he was fucking 6 or 7 then. He's 18 now. That was 12 years ago. So he was 6. He was 6 or 7. And I put him up on the roof with me. I made sure he was a boy. So he's on the roof and we're taking pictures and he's laughing up on the roof. So my brigade leadership, they called me into the office and they got CID there. They got everybody there. Okay, gotcha. Yep. And it was like, ooh. First, for context, my sergeant major, I ran operations on a training side, my last unit, and I ran all the whole basic training side. So my sergeant major was going through divorce after 25 years, and the only thing he had, she kind of got him, but he had this house. He got the house in divorce, but he couldn't sell it because they had a raggedy roof. I put a roof on his house for like $4 or $5 grand. And I actually didn't even make him pay me until he sold the house. So that was his house. So we're on my sergeant major's house. So my son, that picture, if I find it, I'm gonna show it to y'all. My son, that picture is me and my son on top of my boss's house. All right. So we go, so they call me on an investigation. They call me in there to kind of like read me my rights. And Sergeant Major's in there with me. This is a true fucking story. I put this on anything. This is a true story. They asked him, Sergeant Major, did you know that so-and-so and so-and-so and so? He was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He's supposed to be at work. I swear to God, he said that shit. And it was his fucking house. I looked at that motherfucker, man. I was like, but he knew I was preparing for my on the way out. It was already a fucking freight train. There's nothing you could do. I had already had all my goddamn my ducks in a row. The Army regulation says that if we say this thing in the Army, you can't have a business. They didn't read the regulation. Again, you don't know your history because you won't study it. You're listening to 1619 fucking weirdos. And you can read that very ship they're talking about was actually en route to Latin America, and some pirates got it and fucking rerouted the shit. Like, we don't even, the fucking story that she made millions of dollars on, even that fucking story is a lie. So in the Army, they got all this boogeyman shit, and they never really traced the source to the regulation. If I hear you say some dumb shit, I'm going to go to find the regulation. It literally said something about your chain of command. You have to make your chain of command aware if you own a business. I did the research. I did a legal review as to what establishes ownership. The Army was ambiguous with that word in the actual definition, and I got a legal opinion that says ownership is principal ownership. So at the time, I was 49% owners of the business. My wife was 51% owner. She owned the business. I don't have to tell you shit. But the Army, these fucking knuckleheads, didn't know that. Nobody there had a business. And I'm saying, I've already dissected the regulation, and I said this, and I had a legal review on it. Your definition is ambiguous. They changed the regulation because of me. Your definition is ambiguous, and it doesn't. I don't have to seek. First off, you don't have to seek permission. You only have to make them aware. But I wasn't the principal owner. My wife was. Oh, I fucking got him. Y'all gonna see a podcast with me and my soldier. I used to put all my soldiers on. I got a soldier that's living in Hawaii right now. He retired. But way back then, I was putting people on. You need to start your fucking business. He's got 3 government contracts. He has 3 government contracts. I was teaching everybody how to get government contracts. He has 3 of them. None of them are in Hawaii, and he's stationed in Hawaii. Oh, I'm sorry. He lives in Hawaii. My soldier, you're going to see a podcast with him. My soldier has 3 current government contracts. I was teaching this shit fucking 12, 13, 14 years ago. And none of them are in Hawaii. So he did the requisition, got the contract, hired, supervised, set everything up, and he lives in Hawaii. And none of his contracts are in Hawaii. You're going to meet him pretty soon. I used to put all my soldiers on. Watch this. Cut to the chase, 2019. So I was out of government contracting and I was growing my trucking company. We did a fucking Zoom with him early in the morning in 19. And like he had told us some of the latest updates because I had then got another government contract, but I was like, hey, one of my old soldiers has 3. He's had 3 for like a decade now. And I was like, hey, let's give it, because the army had changed, the government had changed how you pay, the whole sam.gov, and I got that shit now, but I needed to update. So he came and retrained us on how the new way to do it, because it would have took you like a long way. It's not hard, but it's like, you got to understand. That's why I teach this shit, because you got to understand. So anyway, then we did some more government shit. I ran that shit. I just ran the bag up on that shit. You guys need to be looking at the government contract. You're fucking up. All right. Okay. All right. Second DOT. You probably didn't do it right. I hope you did it right. You probably didn't do it right. You need to holler at me. Let me check on that, because there's a way you get to do it. All right. But anyway, so I beat that charge and I ended up retiring. I had a multi-million-dollar government contract, building army housing. I went from 2 to 26 people on my contract in like 4 months. I tell that whole story. But anyway, yeah. So welcome to the group. I retired from the military, and then I went and I crushed from there. When I retired, I had 41 shotgun homes. I had one big ass like McMansion, and I had 41 shotgun homes. All these homes I was paying $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for, and I was flipping them. And I'm gonna show y'all that next month how I was doing it. There are people there right now. One of the kids in this program is in the military. He's in Fort Sill. I have several multi-millionaires that live there that I taught real estate 10, 12 years ago, and they're fucking retired. All they do is real estate. One of them is a mechanic. He's one of my most famous ones. He's probably worth $7 or $8 million right now. He was a mechanic. He was in the army for 4 years. I met him. He got one house. I taught him my whole game, and then he started. And then when I left, I sold him like 5 of my houses. Yeah. Anyway, you should see his on Instagram. It's fucking shit. You know what he did? He retired. He has a nonprofit in Guatemala. He goes there 3 or 4 times a year, and he's a preacher at Fort Sill right now in Oklahoma. That's all he wants to do. He's a good guy. But he was in the system. He was a mechanic, so he had time to do that. So now, see, you can scream and fucking march and put your fist in the air, or you can learn how to dominate the market and go fucking win, and then it frees you up to levy economic justice. That's the only way to do it. Now he's a preacher. He's just winning souls to Christ, and he has a fucking school and a thing in Guatemala. And they go look at his pictures. He got some bullshit pictures on his goddamn shit. He got he got like 10 pictures on this thing. And half of them are him in fucking third world country. But that's what makes him happy. That's what he wants to do. He's putting in work here, and he found this country where there's poor people, and he's putting in work there. My fiance is 51 son. There you go. That makes her the owner. So when you file for your DOT, she has to go through the background check. See how that works? You got to learn how to operate within the system, because when you don't, it don't work out for you, and you scream everything's a scam. This is what we have to end in our community and in poor people, all poor people. Black, white, whoever the fuck you are, all poor people. We're growing the next generation of first generation entrepreneurs. All right, 841, I got to go. But do this right here, do this link. It's only $10 a month. You're going to come in here. All these people that's talking to my program, you're going to come in here and we're going to grow you. We're going to grow you as a CEO. There are 30 or 40 things you just don't know. It's okay. I didn't know them either. I had to learn them. I literally grow entrepreneurs now. This is $10 a fucking month. I don't even know what, but we're trying to grow a big thing. And there's some additional stuff. Once you come inside, you'll hear. It's a private Telegram. We drop shit in there on a daily basis, at least every other couple of days. But then every Tuesday, we have a book of the month club. And every Tuesday, we meet at 8 o'clock at night, and I teach. Right now, we're studying what is money. No one knows what money is. You can say what you want. I didn't know what it was either. All these adults are having astonishing, like holy shit, right? And because they don't teach you what money is. If they teach you what money is, you wouldn't be doing the shit we do. We wouldn't be doing the shit we do, right? And so we're teaching you what money is first, so that when we go into construction and real estate and trucking and all these other stuff, then you're going to understand, oh shit, I have additional. Hey bro, stop asking to come in my live. Jesus Christ. I'm getting invaded by fucking. Where are y'all from? All right. Anyway, all right, man. Great morning. I had a great morning. Monday through Friday, Eastern, 6 o'clock Eastern. How can I get with you to make sure I did it right? Send me a message. You're in the group, ain't you? Send me a message here. How do we cancel the Telegram? You got to do it from your thing. Do it from in there. TJ, were you in class last night? You got to cancel your subscription in your subscriptions. Okay, cancel it from in there and then rejoin. The price has already been changed. Everybody who was paying $45, I just dropped it down to 10 so we can bring everybody in there. $45 was a lot for some people. $45 was a lot for some. Text me. Send me a text. All right, I'm going to make sure you got it right. All right, anyway, Monday through Friday, which means tomorrow, I'll be here. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. I teach business. We do business, politics, and culture. You see how they bleed? I can give you all the nukes I want, and you can't see them or do them because we have all this shit that they does on purpose. There has to be a deconstruction of the mind and how we think. Our book of the month club for this month is what? As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, 1903. Everybody here now sees shit different. So you see how excited they are? And these are just regular people from all over the world. I had to have my metamorphosis, right? So you have to deconstruct all your bullshit, your left and your right bullshit, your black and your white bullshit, your poverty. That's the biggest one. That's the one all of us have. We have to deconstruct that. If you're already in there, you have to cancel and re-enroll. So cancel your current subscription and then go back in my link, download this link and do the thing. It's only $10 now. All of y'all are getting fucking $35 off. See how good that is? See how good I'm trying to be to y'all? But we got to pull more people in. I'm going to tell y'all this last story. This shit really... So I'm going to get it today. 7 or 8 of y'all, when y'all heard it was 45, you couldn't afford it. And like 10 people would text me after this. Only one of them wanted to either become a client because I have one for CEOs too, but that's different. All right. About 2.5 weeks ago, this lady hit me up and I got on the phone with her because I can't go on my life. If I'm just here to help poor people, I can't be here to only help people that can afford to. Now it's $10. You don't have no fucking excuse. But so if you don't, that's really on you. All right. But at 45, that's a big deal. Right. And I taught my class last night why 45 and 10 was a big deal. Y'all should have been there. You missed that shit. I've done all the research on it. So this lady didn't have any money, single mom. She just didn't have any kids. She didn't have a job and she just wanted to change her life. And I was like, sweetheart, you are some of the decisions you make right now. We can get you on like a 6 month to a year program. Mind you, she's not in my program, but she sent me this big old letter. She used to be in here talking. I can't do people like that because I'm trying to work and I'm thinking about her. Right. I'm over here trying to fucking work. And I'm like, man, just call this lady. So I called her and we talked for like almost an hour. So what I did tell her was, I don't know you and I can't write you a letter of recommendation. I'm going to write and say, hey, I'm a so-and-so. This is what I do. I talked to her for an hour. We put together a 3-point plan. I think you should give her a chance. She got a job. I'm not saying just because of that, because I told her to change her fucking attitude. Hey, bro, the world, that's not our fault. It's not the world. We've all had shit done to us. You don't get to take that out on the world. Right? That's not you don't get to do that. And some of y'all that's doing that, this is why the world's not reciprocating. Because you're coming into the public square, you're blaming us for racism, I'm black, I'm from the hood. You're blaming us, which is us, for every one of your problems. And we have problems. Some of us just had to grow up, right? And so we had to fix them. We had to find out. So first, deconstruct that. Stop doing that. So you're the reason why you can't get a job is because you're going to these fucking interviews with a shitty attitude, right? Literally a day later, text me, 2 days later, she texted me, this is how bad it is right now, this economy. And she's like, got the job. But I get all kind of texts. I didn't even return. I tried to text her like 2-3 days later, and she didn't respond. I texted like twice. I call her phone, her fucking phone's off. Bro, people are struggling out here. People are fucking struggling out here, right? And so we had a meeting last night. We had a little vote. I explained to them why we need to do this. We dropped everybody to 35. To 10. All my current clients are slightly, what do you call that shit? We call it inconvenience, but you'll be okay. It was right now. We're trying to bring everybody in and they need to get this game. You need to learn some side hustles. You need to understand what money is. You need to put these tools in your tool bag. And then watch this. The only thing I'd ask is that we all come in there, whatever your shit is, you're not coming here and shit on our space. You have freedom to talk. You have freedom to everything. We got MAGA. We got black Democrats. Everybody's in there. And nobody feel no kind of way. Ask anybody. We got fucking MAGA and black Democrats. This is probably the only space that you motherfuckers can talk, right? But when we're here, we're on the same team. So we're all here to learn. We're all talking to each other, helping each other out. And that's kind of the only way I want to do it. I don't want to do it no other way, right? So that's kind of the gist of this. Now you're a fucking flamer. Democrat, and I just told you MAGA's in here, your ass is gonna run for the hills. Okay, I don't fucking care. I love the vibe. Yeah, he's a white fucking MAGA dude. I call him my oppressor. Now you better have a fucking sense of humor. If you don't have no fucking sense of humor, your ass can't be in here because we have fun sometimes. But I understand we have a very sensitive, like we live in a sensitive time, and you don't deserve it. You will not get bullied or anything. Nobody say nothing. I say anybody. All of them here. Don't nobody say nothing. I got black women in here. I got fucking white MAGA dudes. I got fucking everybody's in here, man. Yeah. I'm the only shit talker. Everybody else be chilling. But I'm black, and part of my mission is to get y'all off the Democratic Party. I'm fucking telling you that shit. I ain't gonna hound you, but you're gonna hear why. You're gonna get all the data on why. Hey, bro, I just need you to be independent. Can I invite 4 friends? Yeah, man. No. What the fuck are you talking about? No, it's $10. If you invite 4 friends, it's only $10. If they enjoying the shit, they're only paying $10. I need you to do that. I need y'all to grow the group. All right. We need to have an army of entrepreneurs. All right, I gotta go. I'll see y'all. Great time. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. I've moved shit. I've dedicated this time to teach entrepreneurship, business, culture, and politics. And then, no, you can't. Damn. Yeah, you will. If you don't fucking change, they're going to keep charging you $45. Just change the shit, bro. You're not proving. You don't have to do that, right? Just change the shit, cancel, and come back in. So, all right, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. and Friday morning, 6 a.m., Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wake up, come in here early. We're going to have a good time. We're going to learn. We're going to talk shit. We're going to get the evildoers out of our space, right? I'm going to talk some shit. You got to be okay with that. But you can challenge me. Come here with the facts. Come with the data. All right, boo-boo. I see you. Boo-boo, you need to text me. Text me right now. All right, y'all have a good day. Peace.